On. Right, hello, welcome everybody to this Captain America reflection, where I'm joined by Harry Thomas and Jack McCullough, and we're going to be reflecting on all four Captain America movies, 1991, and the Chris Evans trilogy. So, Jack, would you like to kick us off with the 1990 movie?
Yeah, Captain America, or Captain America, whatever you want to call it. This is a disgraceful film. This film was released by Marvel because at the time Marvel weren't doing that well when it came to making superhero films. Stan Lee, they were originally going to make a Spider-Man film with they were originally going to make a Spider-Man film. The same guys who made Superman 4, but they actually. What's interesting is they never read a Spider-Man comic, so they were literally going to have a spider as the main hero. And that tanked, and they decided to make this film. And it's just, you can obviously tell this was made on a budget of nothing. I've seen fan projects that look better than this crap. Alburt Pyun or whatever his name is, who directed it, Alburt Pyun or whatever. He's just a terrible director. You start off with this, with this like weird stuff going on in Italy. You have the Captain America logo, and suddenly we cut to Italy, and there's this child playing a piano, and you're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't Captain America. What the hell is this? And we see him. It's during the 1930s, and he's being taken away, and he's being experimented on, and they make him into the Red Skull. And the one thing that when you first watch this, you're just saying to yourself, why the fuck is Red Skull Italian? Why is he all of a sudden a fucking Italian? He was German in the books, in the comic books, and he wasn't Italian. Is it really? Well, the people who made this film just like, oh, we can't afford to go to Germany, so we'll go to Italy instead. That'll be cheaper. It's just ridiculous. The Red Skull is not an Italian. He's German. Hydra is German. And, even say Heil Hydra in this film. Heil, Mussolini didn't say Heil. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's like Red Skull is not Italian. You have this really, this really bad backstory. I have to say the makeup is awful. The makeup for the Red Skull looks like a bloody turd. That's what he looks like. It's just like ridiculous. And you have this, and then you cut to Matt Salinger, as Captain America, as Steve Rogers, and he's awful. He's woeful. He's probably one of the worst parts of the. As Harry pointed out, hey, Mr. President. He has all the acting range of a cardboard cutout. He makes he makes Nuclear Man, Superman 4 look good. He's awful. And then you have this backstory with him and Bernie, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, it turns out like he isn't weak, but he's not a weakling like he's supposed to be. But anyway, he's just taken away for this super soldier program. They really rush this film. Like, we see him back in the 40s, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, he's taken away for the super soldier program. And you have Bernie, and Bernie is just awful. Don't leave me, Steve. I'll never leave you. I'll always stay by you forever and ever and ever. Just piss off. The acting in this is worse than a pantomime. It really is. It's like you're watching. It's like you're watching a kids' production of Captain America. Even worse than that. And it doesn't get much better from there. The Captain America suit itself, it's awful. It is awful. It's this rubber thing that he goes around in, Captain America suit, and even the ears. If you look closely, even the ears of the Captain America outfit were You know, it's just awful. It's just really bad looking. I mean, it's like they bought. It looks like they bought the Captain America suit out of a out of a Poundland store. I mean, it's that bad. You know, Matt Salinger himself, he has no charisma as Captain America. He has none whatsoever. I mean, you see him fart his way about, you know, he farts across the screen. It's just, you know, I mean, like his acting, he has just no acting whatsoever, none. And you know, I'm glad that he never made a sequel to this. I mean, you know, I mean, picture here of him there, and you can even tell, you know, that those ears right there, they're made of rubber. I mean, it's so obviously it's rubber, you know. And I mean, the whole film, it's just a drag, you know, from start to finish. You know, I mean, the only interesting place you go in this is Italy, and even then, it's not that interesting. Like, you know, it's just it's ridiculous, to be honest. And when he gets strapped to the rocket, like he goes in, like we have this terrible action scene where he gets the shield, he goes into Italy or whatever it is, and he throws the shield, and you know, it's just, I mean, the effects are just rubbish. I mean, even for 1990s, they're awful. I mean, this looks even worse than, you know, a superhero film from the 50s. That's that bad. And you know, you have the Red Skull confront him. Like I said, he just looks like a bloody. It just looks like a bloody piece of crap. And when Captain America, you know, he straps him to the rocket or whatever it is, and you know, he flies him off, and you know, he sends Captain America off in this rocket, and it's so stupid. That whole scene is so stupid when you have Captain America strapped to this rocket and he's flying around the whole world, and you know, and there's this kid there outside the White House, and he sees, you know, Red Skull's trying to aim this you know, rocket at the White House to blow him up with Captain America in it, and you know, Captain America manages to move the missile out of the way, and it's just such a ridiculous scene. And you know, he lands up in Antarctica or whatever, and then you cut 50 years later, and you know, these scientists find him and they manage to thaw him from the ice. And you know, I know he's a super soldier. I know he's meant to be a super soldier, but I mean, you know, the fact that he's been frozen for 50 years and, you know, he still manages to be all right. I mean, I just find it ridiculous. I mean, you know, I mean, in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, in Captain America, the first Avenger, it made more sense. He was knocked out and they managed to keep him alive. But, you know, and then you find him and he escapes, and, you know, he somehow, I mean, they never explain this in the movie. I mean, Captain America manages to get from Antarctica all the way back to Florida and Miami. I mean, they never explain it. Like, you know, it's like 1 minute he's in the Antarctic, the next minute, you know, you find him in Canada, and it's like, how the hell did you get from the Antarctic to Canada by foot? Like, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, how the hell did he travel all that? How the hell did he travel all that distance from Antarctica to, you know, from Antarctica to Canada? It's so stupid. And you know, and you see the Red Skull as well, and you know, we see he's sort of changed his, you know, appearance, but you know, Red Skull is a villain. He's just so bad. He's like, Captain America, ha ha ha, we meet again. He's just a, you know, he's a stereotype villain. He's a two-dimensional villain. And you know, I mean, his daughters, I'll admit, you know, his daughters, you know, the Italian daughters, I mean, they're good looking, but I mean, how the hell are they so good looking after, you know, after he himself is such a monstrosity? And you know, you have some really bad action scenes. Like you have that scene where Captain America's in the forest and he encounters Ned Beatty. And you know, I mean, Ned Beatty, I mean, what the hell happened to you? What happened to your career? I mean, you were in Superman, for God's sake. You were in the original Superman films. How did you go from Superman 2 to this? How did you sink this low? You know, we encounter him, and you know, Captain America gives him this, you know, he gives him this backstory that's 50 years later. And you know, you just have one of the most awful scenes in the film where he just, you know, he tells him to pull over. You know, he's like, pull over. I think you're gonna be sick. And it's just so bad. Like he gets out of the car, Captain America. He pretends to throw up, and then he hijacks his car. You know, Grand Theft Auto. This is a superhero. You know, I mean, why is he committing Grand Theft Auto? Why is he pretending to throw up? I mean, this is just laughable. I mean, for God's sake. I mean, the fact that Ned Beatty shows up and then he throws up, pretends to throw up, and then steals the car. Like, it's laughable. You know,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, he was giving him a lift anyway. I'm like, why does Captain America commit Grand Theft Auto? Like, it's just woeful. You know, the action itself, like, you know, where they're throwing the shield and all the quick cuts or whatever they are, it's just so laughably bad. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you have a bit of action, then the action cuts, and then you have another bit of action and it cuts. You know, it's just horrendous. And, you know, I mean, and the whole plot as well, like, oh, we are going to kidnap the president and brainwash him, and it's just like, piss off. You know, in that scene where Captain America comes back and he sees Bernie, and it's like, you know, I mean, this is 50 years later. I mean, I'm surprised she's still alive, but he manages to find his way to Florida from Canada. And I will admit, you know, that one scene between him and Bernie, it is, you know, it's not bad. I mean, it's kind of nice, but it doesn't excuse the rest of the movie. And, you know, I mean, it's a complete mess. I mean, you know, I mean, it goes on from there. You have that awful scene where, like, you know, these people, the Red Skull people, trying to find Captain America. They go into Bernie's house. They shoot Bernie, and they shoot. Well, it's like they shoot Bernie and they shoot her husband, and then and then her daughter tags along with Captain America, and then there's just sort of suggested, I guess you could say, romance between them. And I mean, it's just so many bad scenes in this. You know, there's that scene where they're at that cafe and he smashes, like, he goes into the woman's toilet and then he smashes through the wall. Like, just all the action. It's just, you know, I mean, I've seen better action, and I mean, I've seen better action on screen in an episode of, you know, The Clangers or something like that. I mean, it's just awful. And you know, when the president's trying to escape, I mean, the actor who plays the president, I mean, I don't blame the actor. I mean, the actor, you know, he's a good actor. He was in RoboCop as the bad guy. So, you know, I mean, he has proven himself. But, you know, the whole scene where they're in that castle in Italy, and you know, they're trying to brainwash him, and then you cut to Italy. They manage to find out where the Red Skull is, and he's trying to brainwash. He's trying to brainwash the president. And you just have these
Italian Red Skull. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you have all these like awful scenes where they're. I mean, the only thing I will say is the location work in Italy isn't bad, but even then, it's like, why are we doing this? And why?
I mean, it's not bad, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with Captain America. It's like, why would you go? I mean, what is this Super Mario? What the fuck?
Is it The Godfather or something? Like, like, it's just ridiculous. And
make you a shield you can't refuse.
Yeah, and you know, when he arrives in Italy and he's with Bernie's daughter, and they find that recording of what happened, and you know, he sort of realizes what happens. And then, you know, you just have that awful scene afterwards where he tells her to pull over again because he's feeling sick, and he steals the car again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, again, you're just gonna abandon this girl in the middle of Italy. You know, she doesn't want to go with you to the Red Skull. So what do? Captain America fucking hijacks her car. You know, well done. Well done for setting a good example for the kids. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you know, if you're stranded in a foreign country, who cares? Because Captain America has stolen your car. You know what I mean? I mean, you may as well make a Grand Theft Auto game out of this. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, oh, pull over, I'm gonna be sick, and then he just steals the car and leaves her. You know, what a dick. More like Captain Dick. You know what I mean? He's just leaves her there, and
I mean, the whole thing feels like a fucking mafia plot. Feels like he's on the run from the mafia. That's what this movie feels like.
Yeah. and just the scenes after that were like, you know, you have the final confrontation in the castle, and the president manages to escape, and he's like, you know, the president's gonna kill himself rather than surrender himself to the Red Skull. And you know, when he jumps off the cliff, and somehow Captain America manages to capture him. And like I said, I mean, the suit is just laughable. That Captain America suit, you know, it looks like something he bought out of Poundland. It's this, it's this rubber monstrosity. You know, he may as well be wearing a condom painted white, blue, and red. I mean, and you know, and that scene itself, like, I mean, the action is just woeful. Like, you know, the quick cutting, and when he's with the president, and you know, he manages to save him, and you know, you have that really bad scene where like Captain America throws the shield, and it's all this really quick cutting, and you have the machine gun. I mean, I thought Avengers: Age of Ultron was cut really badly, but this is even worse. And then, you know, he just captures the shield, and he's like, "Hey, thanks, Mr. President." You know,
Mr. President, thanks.
Yeah. God, it's like, ugh, you know, by this point, you're just bashing your head against the screen, waiting for a salvation.
The henchwoman. I mean, damn, they are some beautiful babes, but what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's like
the Red Skull and his pimps.
Yeah, it's like
they make all the dig up.
And what I don't understand is he's being fucked up by being turned into the Red Skull. So how come they're really good looking? Why don't they look like fucking Red Skull daughters or something, you know? And like I said, and like I said, it's so stupid. You know, he starts off in Antarctica, then he manages to walk all the way to Canada, then he finds himself back in Miami. How the fuck does he do this without a plane or something? And you know, just that final scene, you know, where he encounters him, and it's like a pantomime. It's like Phantom of the Opera. He's on a.
I send up torture souls to the depths.
Yeah, it's like the Phantom of the Opera. He's like playing his piano. You may as well play. You know, I mean, he's playing a piano. It's like, how more fucking cartoony could you get? And that awful. And that awful bit at the end where he's like, you know, he's like, I know what happened, and he plays a recording. He's like, we are both tortured souls. I send us both to the depth. And then he throws
He's holding the device, and there's that shot of him. It's meant to look empowering, but it looks so bad.
Yeah, and you know, I don't understand his plot. Like, he wants to brainwash the president of the United States. But then after that plan goes wrong, he wants to blow up the entire
plot. Plot? There is no plot.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. He wants to brainwash the president. Then after that plan fails, he wants to blow up Italy with a nuclear bomb. What? And it turns out the nuclear bomb is in his piano. And that bit at the end where he just throws the shield, and like that obvious miniature shot where he falls off when you see the toy figure fall off the castle or whatever it is, it's like
Mario sort of game theme to happen, like oh no, Mamma Mia.
Game over. Yeah. I mean, you need a couple of magic mushrooms to watch this film. You know what I mean?
Trying to find logic in this movie is like trying to find a needle in a freaking haystack.
It's like trying to find a hay in a needle stack.
I'll say.
It's like trying to find an American in an Italian film.
It's trying to find a cheeseburger in the pasta sauce. I mean,
it's a stinky cheese.
Yeah, and that ending where, like, you know, he throws him off the mountain, and then it like cuts to Captain America and it like zooms in his face and like it breaks the fourth wall, and then it's like you have a image of him as a cartoon at the end with this like news report over, and it's like Captain America. It's like, oh god,
Captain America, boy, rejoice!
It's just
praise the Lord.
It's just fucking awful. I mean, it is atrocious. I mean, I watched this online. You know, I could have spent 90 minutes, you know, scrubbing this shit off, you know, off the toilet seat and watch this crap. You know, I'd rather do that. I'd rather, you know, put my hand down the fucking bog and, yeah, I mean, it's just a, you know, it's a fucking blocked toilet. You know, I mean, it's a stink. It's a big stink stuck in the toilet. You know, there's no Febreze. Yeah, it's a stink.
Airwick. Fresh.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing left to salvage in this moldy piece of crap. I mean,
the locations are quite good. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the music is any good.
Yeah. I prefer the 60s music you put in your review when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
Well, I looked for the soundtrack for this movie, but it wasn't on YouTube. That's how bad it
is. No surprise there. And I mean, I think you could get this actually on Blu-rays. I wouldn't recommend it.
No thanks. Not worth the price of admission.
Yeah, but I mean, Alburt Pyun or whatever his name is, you know, he directs this like at the start, he directs this like a drama film, like, you know, the kid being taken away and the stuff with Bernie. It's like, it's a Captain America film. This isn't Ang Lee's Hulk, you know.
God, that was a bad movie.
It's like, you know, it's like, just fuck off. It's just,
the opening is way too dark. Like the killing at the very end. Like, what the fuck?
That is way too dark. Yeah.
Then they go. And also, when he reunites with Bernie, she's not even angry. You know, she's not angry. You know, surely the guy has been frozen for 70 years. I mean, obviously she'd understand that, but she doesn't like. She doesn't say, "Oh, where the fuck have you been?" You know, I actually believe. I don't want to sound smug, but I believe my sketch was more accurate than the scene in the movie. You know, as to how it should have been. You know, where have you been? It's been so many fucking years. You know, where she's like, "Steve, you're back!" Like, well, something like that. Anyway.
Like, yeah, it is. And the whole movie is just like, yeah, the opening's way too dark. And then it tries to throw in all this cheese bullshit. You know, he did really badly cut action, just awful dialogue, just all-round shit acting from everyone across the board. I mean, the only one that's good is Ned Beatty, but even then you're wondering yourself, what the fuck is he doing in this film? Like, he was in Superman, and then he does this shit? I mean, it's just like, I mean, I feel sorry for Ned Beatty. It's just, he must have been just like, they must have just been like, hey, yeah, you were in Superman, be in this film, and, you know, I'm glad this never got a cinematic release. They were going to release this in the cinema back in '91, but it would have just bombed at the box office, and I'm glad they didn't, because it was direct-to-video, and that's where it belongs. I mean,
would belong on this earth.
I mean, yeah, it's just it's a complete and utter crap fest. It's one of the worst superhero films ever made, and it set the trend for the other fucking crap superhero films in the 90s. Fantastic Four, Batman and Robin. What a great year. God, what a great decade for superhero films.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely awful. Directing, action, music.
Oh.
God, yeah. Actually, he's the son of the guy who wrote the novel The Catcher in the Rye. God's sake. You know, I mean, he should never have acted. He should just never have done this film. And it's just, you know, it's just a disgrace. I mean, you know, thank God we have the MCU now and the Captain America trilogy, because this film just fucking stinks. I mean, it is a moldy cheese. It is a moldy cheese. It's a piss bag. It's a fart box. It's awful. And yeah, you guessed it. 0 out of 10.
Molto bene.
Alonzi.
Well, Harry, I don't know what you can add to that, but all yours.
Thanks, Ollie. I'll do my best. Well, I just want to
No, please do your worst. The movie didn't try. Why should you?
Absolutely. So yeah. Oh my God. Completely, utterly agree with everything you and Ollie just said, Jack. Captain America 1990 is one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life, and Albert Pyun should be fucking ashamed. He shouldn't even be allowed to direct after this. I mean, this movie I think was made. I've looked it up, and it was made on a budget of $10 million. It doesn't even look like it was on a budget of $1 million. It's the
I think it was on a budget of like 10p.
Oh yeah, it certainly looks like that way. That's how little shits they gave. I'm like,
it's not even up to the standard of a student film.
And yeah, did he direct though? Did Albert Pyun really direct? I don't think there's any direction.
Exactly, there isn't any direction. There isn't any scripts. I mean, trying to find a logic in this is just, you're wasting your time. I mean, and what a shame that this is the first Captain America movie we ever gotten. They could have done it better, much better. I mean, like you said, the opening is way too dark with the killing, because the rest of the movie is fucking campy and silly, and it's tonally all over the place. So they don't have any idea what direction they want the story to go. And Matt Salinger as Captain America, I'm sorry, it's not his fault. It's the script and direction he was given, of course, but I'm afraid he's a fucking joke as the character. I mean, yeah, his costume looks like he just got it from the costume shop down the road. It looks like he's going. He looks like he's going to a fucking kid's birthday party rather than going to war. Yeah, yeah. It looks that unconvincing, and
it's his latex fetish. He puts it on for his wife. Hey, I'm a superhero.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mrs. America. Ooh.
Yeah, well, guess what, guys? We ain't buying it. And oh my God, the shield in the MCU movies, it looks invincible. The shield, but here it looks like freaking
a piece of plastic.
Yeah, a piece of cardboard.
Like Poundland.
It looks like a frisbee. Someone's bought a Captain America frisbee.
Yeah, let's have a game of frisbee. All right. So yeah, and I have never been, well, I have rarely been bored by a superhero movie in my life. I mean, the pacing here, even though this film is 90 something minutes, it drags. Oh my gosh, it was, yeah, I was fucking falling yeah, it was a total snail. I was falling asleep. I did not give a
Sorry to interrupt you, Jack. I retract a statement I made in the Star Trek Hangout when Nemesis was the queen bee of snails. I think there's just been a new contender.
What about Superman 4?
True, but I think this might have been slower.
Well, one thing I will say, at least this had stuff going on in it. Superman 4 had nothing for 45 minutes, but I can understand it. I mean, I put all three down the stinker. Like,
yeah, it comes a package.
Yeah. Don't release these in a box set with Fantastic Four, Superman 4, or Batman and Robin, please.
No, actually, to be fair, like we've said before, the difference with Superman 4 is, well, it got released, so
barely.
Just made it out the door.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine sitting through Superman 4 in the cinema. Thank God I was spared that pain not being born in 1987. And yeah, these were in this film. These were some of the longest 19 minutes I've ever sat through in my life. I was so relieved when it was over. And yeah, as as Jack pointed out, the Red Skull in this movie, he's one of the worst, not just comic book villains, but worst villains ever put to the screen. He looks like shit. And why the fuck did they make him Italian? That's just disgraceful to the comics. I mean, yeah, Stan Lee should have banned this shit when he looked at it.
You may have well made Captain America Captain Italy.
You know, Captain America might as well have been from fucking South Africa. You know, I mean, it defeats the whole point of it. You know, like, him being Italian, like, it's not true to the law. Like, surely Stan Lee would have realized, okay, creative license is one thing, but to then completely shit on the source material, that's another thing, and that's what they did. Like, oh, let's make him Italian, and don't tell me that they were trying to be diverse, because no, don't use that excuse. Don't play the diversity card.
Like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
That's amore, yeah. I tried to use in my sketch. I mean, but it's... Oh, fuck. Sorry, Harry. I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. They, he might as well have been from fucking anywhere if they weren't going to honor the comics. And
Captain fucking America.
No, it's Captain America, not Captain Italy. It's called Captain America, yet it barely takes place in America. I'm like, that's one of the most misleading titles I've ever read. And although the Red Skull wasn't portrayed perfectly in the first Avenger, at least Hugo Weaving tried. Because Hugo Weaving's awesome. This
fucking godsend compared to this. At least he wasn't Italian,
Yeah, thank God. He was. He was a miracle in comparison to this. Oh my gosh, he is the worst villain of the four Captain America movies by a landslide, and one of the worst villains in cinema. He doesn't have any motivation. As Jack pointed out, his plan changes and motivation changes throughout the movie. At 1 minute he wants to kidnap the president and brainwash him. Then he's got a nuclear bomb in his fucking piano. I'm like, who the fuck is writing this? I mean,
fucking sissy.
Yeah, yeah. What were they on when they were thinking this? I mean,
probably
spaghetti and meatballs with a magic mushroom.
Yeah, I'd say they probably had their bolognese spiked with some kind of ecstasy. The Parmesan cheese has an acquired taste.
I'll say, they obviously, they got carried away with the magic mushrooms in their spaghetti and pizza, and terrible villain. And
I will say this: there's, in regards to the Red Skull, there's no meat in those balls.
Oh no, far from it.
Here he is as well.
I remember.
He looks like...
The thing is, he's only like that for one scene, and then the rest of the movie he's got like a fucking Al Pacino haircut. Like the flipping Godfather.
I mean, he looks like... I mean, this image here, he looks like someone shot him out of their arse and there was blood all over his head.
Zygon.
Yeah, he literally came from the arse of the makers of this movie. That's
like a Zygon from Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, a Zygon done all wrong. But I will give him this. Although his daughters are just fine. They are beautiful, but if only they had more to do, like all the other characters, of course.
I mean, why have hot babes as henchwomen? Like, I'd be okay if they made them badass, but they were just like girly, preeny, hot girls. They were just there. I mean, okay, I can kind of see, when they fought Bernie, when they had a fight with Bernie's daughter at the end, that was cool. But against Captain America, they're useless. Here's a fucking shield, and he probably, even though he probably wouldn't hurt them, he probably just fucked them. But
there he is. There's a Godfather.
Stay out of my business.
Absolutely, Ollie. He probably would have just fucked them. They look more like strippers than secondary antagonists to me. Yeah. So yeah, there is zero tension, zero threat in this movie. You cannot take it fucking seriously, and just even. And the action, my God, this is the crappiest, laziest, most badly shot action ever put in a superhero film. I mean, even without CGI, I mean, even film students could make a better superhero movie and better action than this.
It's a sad thing when you know that, because I made a Bond movie, and knowing that my action sequences are better than all the ones in this movie. It's a sad thought, really. It's a sad, sad situation.
It's all right, Ollie. Your action scenes in your Bond movies were pretty solid. Yeah,
yeah. Wait, did you watch them?
Yeah. I recently checked out one of them on the channel you left a link to.
Oh yes, of course. Oh, thanks, Harry. It's very kind.
Oh. Yeah, you're welcome. Great job. Glad to be subscribed.
Anyway, back to Super Mario. Sorry, Captain America.
Yeah, I was thinking Super Mario, same. So yeah, the action just absolute crap. I don't remember it. So I was completely bored throughout it. That's not what action is supposed to do. I didn't give a shit about what was going on, and just that cringy, god-awful line when Captain America just gives a thumbs up and is like, Mr. President, thanks. I'm like, you guys, well done. You jumped the fucking shark.
The only good thing in that scene is the fact that the president
jumped the shield.
Yeah, oh god. Well, they jumped to another country. But I mean, the good thing in that scene is the only good thing in that scene is the fact that the president actually does something. He's not waiting to be rescued. When he gets out, he's actually contributing. He's doing stuff, and he calls the army and stuff. So at least he's useful, but it doesn't make up for the 90 minutes of shit.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it is, and like you said, even though it's nice to see beautiful Italy in all its glory, I recently took a holiday to Italy 3 years ago, and it's beautiful. I can't deny, but it doesn't make any sense that Captain America is in Italy, so even that doesn't save this piece of crap by a long shot. And
it was also made by Golan and Globus, same guys who made Superman 4.
Well, that kind of says it all.
Yeah, but that explains it all. So yeah, and by the end of it, I was so relieved it was over. I couldn't take it anymore. I just wanted to watch the MCU Captain America trilogy to relieve myself. I can gladly say that this is just steaming pile of shit started the bad comic book movies in the 90s. Yeah, it's just along with Fantastic Four, Batman and Robin. But I will give the 90s this. At least Batman Returns came out that year. So
yeah, thank God, our salvation.
It was the only good one. It really was the only good one.
Totally. Yeah. If only the others could have followed its example. Yes. So and people have just hated on X-Men: The Last Stand, Spider-Man 3, and Batman vs Superman. But come on, guys, those movies, even they are leagues better in comparison to this. This is easily in the top 3 worst comic book movies ever made, and I do not have the intention of ever putting it in again or wasting my 90 minutes of my time that I could have spent doing something else, hanging out with my family, doing my artwork, making YouTube videos,
watching the other movies.
Exactly.
Just enjoying life. It's lost. That hour and a half is gone forever.
life's too short, and even.
I hate Italians. They're coarse, rough, irritating, get everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Harry, and when you said you were relieved after this film, well, Captain America relieved himself to get that car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when he stole the fucking car. I'm like, man, you're supposed to be a hero and not fucking.
So I meant no disrespect to any Italians watching this. It was just a joke, but yeah. No offense, Italy, and we love Italy. I love Italians. I love Italy.
Here, here's the Italian girls if you like, Ollie.
Yeah, well, absolutely, but I don't like the Red Skull as an Italian, and I don't like that this movie is set in Rome. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It's a total mistake. I mean, I am so happy that this is also straight to DVD because this is exactly what it was made for. I mean, so I am so happy and will gladly give the 1990s Captain America a well-deserved, you guessed it, 0 out of 10.
Yeah! Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's another flush down the toilet.
Oh yeah. By the way, Ollie, I've got a screen share of this Italian girl from the movie.
Yeah.
She looks like Emma Watson.
She has a little bit, an Italian Emma Watson. Very beautiful girl.
That's the only good thing about the film.
Yeah. Well, where the fuck do I begin?
At the beginning?
I mean, you know, I went into this movie expecting pretty much what I got. A steaming pile of shit. I mean, there's no other way to sum it up. I mean, Jack, I don't want to say recommended this film to me. Persuaded me to watch this, to basically for the sake of reviewing it. And yeah, I thought, well,
I had to go for the torture, so what did you do as well?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, the one thing I will say is at least it met my expectations.
What, really good film?
No, the complete opposite. It makes me really appreciate the other 3 movies a lot more now. This movie just sucks. I mean, it's so bad. I mean, first of all, the story is completely nonsensical. It makes no fucking sense. It's set all over fucking Europe. And it basically, none of it is set in America, other than a few scenes, like the scenes with Bernie, whatever the fuck her name is. And yeah, for me, I mean, even though it's a 90-minute drag, the whole beginning, the first act of it is really random. Like, the opening scene is way too dark. And the killing is, like, just ridiculous. And then he gets rushed into, I mean, after a couple of cheesy scenes with Bernie, he's then going into the super soldier program, and then the end of that scene is just awful. Like the way they say, "Oh, Dr. Vesalius, you know, we're really impressed with your work." Heil! And then they just shoot her. Like, what the fuck? It just happens so quickly. And then in the next scene, he's already Captain America. What? So we're not going to get any chance to see him make the costume or anything. He already has the costume. Like, what? Sorry, what? Can you step back a bit, please, and explain this to me? No, we're just going to move on to the first mission. Like, you know, to take down the Red Skull. It's like, oh, okay, well, you know, somebody just died. We're not going to reflect on that? Nope, going to move on? Okay, fine, we'll move on.
Did you notice the rubber ears on his costume?
I don't know how you couldn't really notice. I don't know. I mean, and then it goes on a bit. I mean, then he comes across the Red Skull. I mean, I guess the prosthetics are all right, but
they're awful.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're not like horrific, but they're not great. I think the ones in the first Avenger were a lot better. We'll get to that in a minute, but and then, you know, he kind of, you know, when he gets frozen and stuff, there's all that spiel, and then that goes on, you know, and then he returns to Bernie, and, you know, all of those scenes are weird because, you know, now she has a daughter, and it's like, you just don't give a shit. You don't invest in any of this crap. I mean, I'm okay with emotional drama. And if anything, it's great that at least you try to have an emotional connection with the audience. But seriously, this movie just does it by the numbers. Like, any scene with him and Bernie is so cringy. I mean, because basically she doesn't. There's no conflict. She doesn't seem like. I mean, obviously she's annoyed that she had to wait fucking years for him to come back, but she's married to this other guy. And then, he's just, there's no conflict. She doesn't say, oh, where the fuck have you been? I waited for you. Get out. You left me. Blah. Like, she's just like, Steve, why? Like, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I mean, and then on the other side of the story, you've got this fucking ridiculous, the Red Skull. Can't even say it without laughing. Oh my god. I mean, the worst decision in this movie was first of all, make the movie was the worst decision, but to the worst casting decision and the worst creative decision was to make the Red Skull Italian. What the fuck? I mean, this is one of those ideas from the get-go. If I was making the movie, I would have thought this is derogatory. It's completely derivative of the source material. It doesn't work. It makes the film much more goofy, almost like like Harry said, the tonal problems are what also stops it for me. They're trying to be emotional. They're trying to be campy. They're trying to be serious and dark. What the fuck are you going for? And now you've got this fucking mob mafia plot that's going on with the Red Skull and his gang, or the Al Pacino fucking Red Skull mafia thing. It's, I send our tortured souls to the depths. I'll make Captain America a shield he cannot refuse. Oh, mamma mia! Like,
it's like Ollie. It's like you can imagine him saying like, "I'm gonna make him pay for my son's death." Like,
do not interfere with my business, Captain America. God, I mean, I just expect the song to start playing, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. It would have made this thing 10 times funnier, but I mean, it's like the Red Skull comes and it's like, it's completely campy, over the top, pantomime. It's nonsensical. It doesn't work, and it doesn't make sense. Why? The film's called Captain America. Why do you have to have him travel to fucking Italy to face the Red Skull? He's so... The actor, whoever plays the Red Skull, I don't know his name, but he does it, like... And even the way they do the meeting scenes as well, like, he's in this massive sort of manor house, and it, like, this really expensive mansion place. It just looks too good to be true. And then at the end, he does his like speech, it's almost, you almost expect him to do like a Shakespeare thing, go, to be or not to be. But he's like, I send our tortured souls to the depths. I just completely laughed my arse off. What the fuck? This doesn't make sense. Oh my god, I mean, that's the least of the problems, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, at least the first Avenger had the decency to cast a good actor like Hugo Weaving, he is a good actor, and at least his portrayal was decent, and it wasn't Italian, so it actually made sense. It made sense in terms of the source material. I mean, I love Italians. I think I happened to know a few Italians when I was at school, and
mafia.
There are some lovely Italians. They're very warm people, but it doesn't work for this character. But moving away from that for a minute, you have Matt Salinger as Captain. Well, let's say as Captain America. I don't know. For me, not only is he the wrong physique for the role, his acting is terrible. He plays the part really flatly. Every line is
worse than the plank.
God, I mean, every line is like, deliver like this because I'm Steve Rogers. I talk like this. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's like, you don't have to be reading. It's like he's reading his lines from a comic book. Like, that's what it feels like to me. It doesn't feel natural. None of the acting or the delivery feels natural. Even both the actresses that play Bernie, I know because obviously they have the younger one and the older one. And
it's the same actress, mate. She just put on prosthetic.
oh, well, I wouldn't have guessed. But also the one who plays her daughter as well. Like, nobody does a good performance other than Ned Beatty, who does a sort of okay performance. Like, he's the only one you can tolerate, really. But
Well, what about the bit where Captain America pretends to be sick and steals Ned Beatty's car? Like, what did you think of that?
I'm getting to that. I mean, Ned Beatty, he does what he can, but obviously the script and the writing and the direction doesn't help him. And yeah, that moment is particularly stupid, and it's not in his character nor Captain America's character. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. The direction by Alburt Pyun. Well, what direction? There is no direction. The movie directs itself, and it just falls apart completely. It's edited really badly as well. The action sequences are god awful. I mean, every time he throws the shield, it looks like it's on a fucking harness. Like
it's a frisbee.
Like frisbee. It's also really slow. The action is too slow. They cut it way too slowly. At least with well, not necessarily the first Avenger. At least with the last two, they had really great action sequences. They really improved the action for the last two, which we'll get to later. But here it's just terrible.
Like that bit where the girls on the motorbike are chasing him through the forest, and then like their motorbike falls over, and they like shoot at him once, and he gets away in the car. Is that it?
Yeah. Also, yeah, the production design does nothing for me. It looks cheap. It looks like it was made on a budget of 5p, which you can buy a plastic bag. So that kind of says everything, really. The pacing is awful. It's the longest 90 minutes ever. It feels like a 3-hour epic. Like, it really does. There's too much location hopping. Just stick to having it set in America or like Germany. Like with the Nazis and stuff. Like, do that. Like the first Avenger did. Why do you have to hop between different locations? It doesn't make sense. The music score is also rubbish. Cheesy, doesn't really work. The emotional moments completely fall flat. Overall, this movie is a creative mess. I mean, yes, the two Italian babes, they are hot. They are really hot. But they're the wrong characters. They're the wrong people to be henchmen or henchwomen, sorry. And the climax of this story is just terrible. The Red Skull's death is awful. I mean, as we said earlier, it would have been funny if they just played the Super Mario Game Over sound, like do 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 Game Over. Oh no! God, I mean, that god awful line. Thanks, Mr. President. Thumbs up. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, this bit here, this bit I'm screen sharing.
Yeah, I've seen it. Oh God.
I know, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I mean,
I'm surprised anyone even bothered to stay for the climax.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was. Well, they tried to make the credits nostalgic by having the cartoon drawings there, but with the music, like the pop, I think it was a pop track or something, it didn't really work. So I was just thinking, what the fuck? I just turned the shit off. I mean, at least, well, I don't know. I mean, at least it kind of looks moderately. At least it doesn't look like a pantomime. It kind of just feels like a pantomime. Whereas Fantastic Four and Batman and Robin, they look like pantomimes. But I mean, I'm not saying that as a defense for this movie for 1 second, because the tone is all over the place. It's a mess. It's a total mess. I mean, and the costume is rubbish too. It doesn't suit him whatsoever, and it's just too campy. It's almost a parody, really. I mean, like it doesn't suit him whatsoever. And that's it. That's it. I'm gonna give this movie a 0 out of 10. A well-deserved 0 out of 10.
Yay!
Yeah. Don't expect any more. or any less for that matter. It's a 0, and it's staying at a 0. And it is by far the weakest of these movies. I mean, that was always going to be the case. So
3 0 out of 10. So our overall score out of 30 for this is 0 out of 30.
Yeah.
Minus 30.
God, yeah. Thank God that it never got theatrically released. Imagine if this movie was in 3D.
Oh my God.
I think everybody would throw up into their popcorn buckets.
Or Captain America would throw up and steal their car.
I can't deal with these dimensions. It's so confusing.
He's so pathetic. He's so pathetic that he has to throw up and steal a car twice.
It's pissy as well. Oh God. But thankfully, the MCU came along and took it in a different direction with Chris Evans in the role. Starting with Captain America, the first Avenger. So, Jack, what do you think of Captain America, the first Avenger?
Well, after the 1990 shitfest, this film is definitely a breath of fresh air.
Well, we had to wait 21 years, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, after the 1990 arsehole of it, yeah, throwing up of the film.
After the 1990 night out and a hangover.
And then Captain America stealing your car.
We got over it.
Yeah, I mean, this film after that arsehole of a movie is definitely a breath of fresh air. I mean, one thing I will say, it is directed a lot better, but
it's not saying much.
I still don't think this film is great. I mean, the first Avenger, I'm going to be honest, probably one of the weakest films in the MCU. I know a lot of people would say Iron Man 2, but I'd have to say Captain America.
I prefer Iron Man 2 to this, and I'm not going to make any apologies for that.
Yeah, same. I mean, I much prefer it to this. I mean, I think this is the worst MCU film. I mean, let's start off with Chris Evans. You know, Chris Evans I think he's decent as Captain America in this film. I mean, it's his first film, so you can't really blame him. I mean, he kicks the crap out of Matt Salinger. That's for one thing. I mean,
compared to the previous movie, this movie is like, okay, it'll do.
Yeah,
fine. Okay.
I mean, if Matt Salinger is a plank, then Chris Hemsworth is Al Pacino compared to him, or Robert
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans is, well, I'm saying if Matt Salinger has the acting ability of a wooden plank, then Chris Evans is like, in terms of acting, he's like Dustin Hoffman compared to Matt Salinger. I mean, it's just Captain America. Yeah. I mean, I think the film. I like the setting, the 1940s. I mean, I think they do the 1940s setting much better here. I like the fact that the whole movie set during the 1940s, not like the previous film where it's like you have half an hour set in the 1940s and then the rest in present day. I mean, Chris Evans himself as Captain America, I think he's good. He's not great. I mean, he doesn't really sell into the role into the next film. I mean, I think Chris Hemsworth kind of comes across as a bit weak in this film. I mean, I understand his character. His character, unlike the previous film, he's a complete weakling. Like he's got a disability or something. He's really weak, and we see him going into the super soldier process. And I think the way they do the super soldier process this time is much better. We see him actually, go from basically a stick to this, from a stick into this big buff guy. And I mean, I think they use CGI on Chris Evans to make him look thinner. Anyway, but
yeah, it was weird seeing his head on a skinny guy. I think that maybe they must have used a really thin guy and like motion captured his face on there, because it looks, you can tell it looks really CGI.
Yeah.
It's starting to look dated now as well, which is odd, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris Evans, I mean, I think he sort of redeems himself after the Fantastic Four films. I mean, I always liked him in the Fantastic Four films, even though you could say they weren't great.
Yeah.
But
The Rise of the Silver Surfer?
oh, have I seen it?
Yeah.
No, but
right.
I'm glad I haven't.
But you've seen the first one?
Yeah, I've seen the first one. I mean, I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it like some people did. But I mean, as for the movie itself, as for Chris Hemsworth, I think he's decent in the role. Yeah, Chris Evans. Get confused. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Chris Evans does a good enough job in the film. I mean, I think his performance, I think you could tell he's a bit insecure in playing Captain America, but he manages to give a really great performance in the next two films. So sort of led away from here. I mean, he just kind of comes across to me as a bit weak as Captain America. He's just a bit too timid and a bit too.
I think that's intention though, because he's quite a nice guy, but he wants in the character, and he just wants to fight for his country. He wants to grow as a person. So I guess you kind of say it was intentional, but I can see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's intentional, but even when he becomes Captain America, he's still a bit timid and all that. And yeah, I mean, I know they're trying to, sort of portray that in the film, but I just don't think it works when you've got Captain America when he is.
He's definitely not hit his stride until the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I mean, as for the others, I mean, Haley Atwell's good as Agent Carter.
Peggy.
Peggy Carter. Yeah.
Get out of my pub.
Yeah, I mean, she's got. I mean, she had her own show, Agent Carter. I think it's cancelled now, but I mean, she's really fit. I will say. I mean, wow.
Meow.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely really fit. And like I said, I mean, I think the 40s setting is good. I mean, the only problem I have.
Do you think that she looks similar to Daisy Ridley?
In
this film, anyway, I think she looks kind of similar to Daisy Ridley.
I don't really see it, but fair enough.
Yeah, she looks like Daisy Ridley's twin sister.
Fair enough. But anyway, I mean, my main problem with this film is, I don't know, just the pacing of it. Like the first half an hour to an hour of the film is just basically them farting about. Like you have. I mean, they make Captain America this super soldier, and then he's just there for propaganda. I mean, what is the point of having him as Captain America if all he's going to do is just dance around on stage, like, I mean, you may as well have him at a strip club or something, dancing around. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. I mean,
stuff with the Red Skull as well, like when they're cutting between it. It's like it's like the film's taking ages to do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first hour of this film, I was so bored. It was just like, okay, we've got Captain America become the super soldier. That's fine. But then they do nothing with it. I mean, they do absolutely fuck all. He's just dancing around going, hey, I'm Captain America. Go and support your country. And, I mean, there are some good bits when he is trying to, when he's saying that, hey, I don't want to just be a propaganda guy, but it's just like, I don't understand why they made him this super buff soldier if he's just dancing around. And I mean, Hugo Weaving as Red Skull, I mean, I think he is.
Well, he's not Italian, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, that's one positive straight away. Thank fuck he's not Italian. I mean, no offense to
imagine if they made a sequel to the 19 movie, it would have been Captain America couldn't get his Domino's pizza, and then they had a fight about it.
Red Skull has to go to Domino's instead.
I sent them tortured pepperoni to the depths.
I curse your pizza to Domino's. No, I mean, I think Hugo Weaving, as Red Skull, he does a much better job. I mean, I still don't think he's great as Red Skull. I just think as a villain,
compared to the other guy, he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Red Skull doesn't get enough to do in this. I think Hugo Weaving's good, but he just doesn't get enough to do. I mean, yeah, thank God he's German. I mean, no offense to Italian people, but Red Skull, he's not Italian, and I mean, he just doesn't get much to do. Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. I mean, my main problem with the film is it takes so long to do nothing, and then when they actually get to the fight and he finally kills when Captain America supposedly finally kills Red Skull, you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, great, that's the end of the film. All right, fair enough." I mean, it's a bit short, but fine. Red Skull's dead, but then it turns out he's alive, and then it just sort of drags on again from there. It's like, okay, the Red Skull isn't dead, so let's. I mean, he dies about an hour into the movie, and then they drag the movie out for another hour. It's like, okay, I understand. You want it to be a plot twist, like it turns out he's still alive, but why add an extra hour onto the movie? I just think after that, it just drags on again. I mean, I think the action scenes, for the action there is pretty. I mean, it's pretty good. I think the action's pretty good overall. But like I said, it's boring. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, it's all right. I mean,
it takes ages to get to the action. When we finally get it, it's in a bloody montage.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, and then Red Skull just dies, and then I don't know. I mean, I think it's quite good. We have that.
Be born with me.
I mean, one thing I will say, I like the relationship between Chris Evans and I like the relationship between Chris Evans. Well, no, I like the relationship between Chris Evans and Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. I think they both have a good chemistry, and I like that scene.
Nice that sorry to interrupt you. It's nice that they continue it in the next two, because obviously she appears in Winter Soldier for one scene, and then she dies in the third one. So it's nice that they can.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, their relationship's quite nice. Like, there's that scene where Captain America is gonna kiss the girl, and she's like, "Oh, suddenly you're the ladies' man," and all this, like, and
that girl is Natalie Dormer. I have a crush on her. I don't know about you guys, but I think she's really hot, and so I'm really jealous of that scene. But obviously, she walks in at the wrong moment, but he never apologized for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why, since he really he loves her. He's attracted to her and he wants to be with her. But anyway, I mean, I think Tommy Lee Jones, for the scenes he's in, is quite good. I mean, he redeems himself after Batman Forever.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tommy Lee Jones. He's a good actor, but what was he thinking doing Batman Forever?
Joel fucking shitmaker.
God. Joel Shitmaker. Right.
Oh god, that's such a terrible film. I'm sorry, I hate Batman Forever. It's still bad. I mean, it's not as bad as the one after, but even so, I gave it a 1 out of 10.
I thought Batman Forever was all right.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, but Batman and Robin, God. But anyway, I mean, well, I will say Tommy Lee Jones was awful as Two-Face, and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. God, but anyway, I mean, just going on from there. I mean, I just think when he encounters the Red Skull, and he kills him, you're thinking, all right, finally, that's the end of the film. And then it just goes on for another hour, and I just lost interest after that. I remember watching this at my cousin's house, and I lost interest. First time I watched it, I just remember losing interest, and by the time the film was over, I couldn't give a fuck anymore. I mean,
I remember I saw this at the cinema on a really hot day, and it was like in the afternoon, and it was like the heat was also flagging me down, and this movie felt like it was 3 hours long. It felt so long in the cinema. I don't know why, but it just did.
Yeah, I mean, and even when I was watching it, it was just like, come on, let's get to the point. And you know what? I mean, overall, Captain America: The First Avenger, it's not a bad movie. I mean, it's not like atrocious like Captain America 1990, which is just an abomination. but it's not great either. It's just very meh. I mean, I just think it's just too slow. It takes too long to get to the point.
The CGI is kind of dated now as well.
Yeah, and it's just very mediocre. I mean, it's definitely I would say the worst MCU film. I mean, I really like Iron Man 2. I don't care what people say.
I prefer it ever so slightly to The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that movie. I couldn't get into that film. But I had a minor interest in this one, but again, not by much. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, do you mean Iron Man 2? Do you mean Captain America?
No, sorry. I mean, I prefer First Avenger to The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. I mean, I think both films aren't great, but maybe I would put this at the bottom. I would have to rewatch the Hulk one, but yeah, it's just a very bland movie, very generic, very sort of paint by numbers superhero movie. Nothing much.
What do you think of Joe Johnston's direction?
Well, at least there is some direction this time. Not much, to be honest. Well, I mean, there is direction, but it's just very boring. It's just a lot of padding. If you cut out an hour of this film, or at least half an hour at the most, well, at the least, then, I think you could have had a better film. But unfortunately, it just sort of drags and it's boring. And
weird, because it's only 2 hours long, but it feels too long.
Yeah, it feels like, like you said, 3 hours. I mean, I thought an hour into the movie, once they got rid of Red Skull, all right, that's enough because we've already had an hour of padding. You could just end it there. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the CGI now of Chris Evans, and God, it is really dated. It is really dated. I mean, when he's sitting beside Peggy Carter, she's taller than him. It just looks really dated, actually. I mean, I'll show you a screenshot of how dated this CGI is. I mean, it's just...
It looked pretty impressive at the time, but now it's like...
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just screen share this. Yeah, did you see it?
No.
Nah, sorry.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. God. I'll get to it. Well, fuck it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Hold on, it's here.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this looks really bad. I mean, you can obviously tell CGI is way too small. And,
his face looks really pale as well.
Yeah, it's just not very good CGI.
I mean, I guess the one thing you could say is that at least the production is quite good, and like it looks like you feel like you're in the 1940s. So that's nice, and it was the first time Marvel did that. So you go back to a period set. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I mean, overall, I think it's a pretty decent. Yeah, overall, I think it's a...
She Italian?
Yeah, well, no, I don't think she is. No, I mean, overall, I think it's a decent film, but it's nothing more than that. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Well, maybe decent's quite a strong word.
Well, well, I guess 4 out of 10 then.
Oh no! Oh, fair enough. It's your rating. I'm not trying to take your opinion. Ari.
Yeah. Well, I also consider this one of my least favorite MCU films, but I'm sorry. But don't get me wrong. Don't hate it. It's at least it's all right. It's okay. I mean,
Right.
In comparison to the 1990s,
Water.
It's a godsend compared to that shit.
Oh yes, this is a fucking masterpiece in comparison. I would watch this 10 times over that any day. I mean, I'm sorry guys, but I think this movie is better than Iron Man 2. Please don't hurt me. And I do also, and I wouldn't, and I am sorry, Ollie, but I actually liked Incredible Hulk, but totally.
Don't apologise for expressing an opinion. There's no apology necessary. But on the subject of Iron Man 2, I'll say that at least Iron Man 2 was kind of fun. I mean, it had its moments. I mean, it was disappointing, but it was fun. Like, I thought there was some fun moments in it, and it was kind of slow, and it took its time. We'll have to do the Iron Man trilogy next, because I think that's a good one to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
when it comes to me and Iron Man 2 as well, just before we get to that back to you, when it comes to me and Iron Man 2, that was the first Iron Man film that I saw in the cinema, and I liked the introduction of Scarlett Johansson in that, and I just thought it was really funny, like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man just getting drunk and fucking everything up, and
he was dying, so he thought, he was dying. He thought he was going to die, so he wanted to have one last sort of party before he went out. But
yeah, that's what I loved about it. He was just reckless in that film, and that's what I liked, and I liked the villain as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah. I think Iron Man 2 is underrated, but there we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can do the Iron Man trilogy hangout after this one, maybe, because they're a good set of films to talk about. Have you guys seen all three of them?
Yeah, all three. Yeah, that would be a good one to do.
Jack?
Yeah, I've seen them as well.
So you've seen the third one now?
Yeah.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Sorry, Harry, we'll let you carry on.
Oh yeah, that's fine, guys. I totally respect your opinion. Yeah, Iron Man 2's not terrible. Don't get me wrong. I just find it very, very average and weakest of the Iron Man trilogy. But anyway, back to Captain America: First Avenger. I mean, Joe Johnston. He, in comparison to Alburt Pyun, he's a genius. He's an expert.
He's Martin Scorsese.
Oh yeah, Martin Scorsese comparison to Alburt Pyun. I mean, thank God we can finally put the 1990s shit behind us and just bury it. And we yeah. So and now, so yeah. While this is definitely the weakest of the Captain America trilogy, I can at least say it's okay. There are still redeeming qualities here. I mean, Chris Evans as Captain America, he is just. I mean, they couldn't have cast a better actor, even if this is his weakest performance in the trilogy. That's very understandable because he did take time to embody such a timeless character. So by Civil War, he really got it, and I even liked him as Johnny Storm in the two Fantastic Four movies. He was really fun.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
He was actually the best actor in those movies. He gave a very charming performance in those two movies. Say what you will about
I like the guy who did the Thing in those movies.
Yeah, they did his character really well in the first one. I mean, the first one was actually all right. The second one was when it got really crap.
Or what about the remake, Ollie?
Back to Captain America.
About Fantastic 1994.
Well, I don't even. The reboot for Fantastic Four, whilst nothing really happened, at least it was better than the '94 movie. It built up to nothing, basically.
Are you going to get the Pepsi out if you ever rewatch that again?
I don't plan to. Apparently, the sequel's been scrapped, so thank God for that. Sorry, getting off track. Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah. I don't plan to sit through Fant 4 stick again in my entire life. Let's just say, yeah.
Emphasis on the stick.
Yeah.
No, and emphasis on the dick.
on the dick.
I mean, instead of calling him Dr. Doom, call him Dr. Dick.
Yeah, Doctor Doom. I've never seen somebody fuck up a great comic book villain more in my life. So yeah, I do enjoy Chris Evans as a Captain America here, even if this is his weakest performance. He does his best, and yeah, I totally agree. The CGI to make him look skinny and then just give him so much buff, it does look a little dated. I mean, but I guess it's understandable because it was 2011 as CGI has come a long way since then. But yeah, they really could have cleaned up those effects. I love Haley Atwell as a Peggy. She's great. They have genuinely sweet chemistry. And although I did think that he came across as a bit of a dick when he kissed another girl in front of her, and she is rightfully pissed off about this, but he never apologizes for that.
I know it was Natalie Dormer, like the girl that hit on him. I mean, oh god, she's so hot. But even so, yeah, you're right. He should have apologized for that.
Yeah, I'm like, what a prick. I mean, I wouldn't, if I had a girlfriend, I would never do that in a million years.
Exactly. Same. I know. I mean, if I didn't have a girlfriend and I got the chance to kiss Natalie Dormer, I wouldn't shy away. I wouldn't shy away from that for a second.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm amazed that Peggy forgave him after all that, and yeah, I do find the first half of this movie a bit stronger than the first. I love the 1940s.
You said first and first. Do you mean the second half stronger than the first?
Oh, sorry, I got a bit mugged up there. I meant the first half slightly stronger than the second.
Okay.
So yeah, I love the 1940s setting. It's done infinitely better here than the 1990s version. At least they actually put care and heart, love and attention.
It's not set in fucking Italy as well.
Yeah, they actually set it in fucking America and Germany, where it should be. So Stan Lee will be very happy about that. Yeah, and
he had a cameo there as well. He was one of the colonels, I think. And when he's like, "Oh, I thought he'd be taller."
Oh yeah, yeah. Stan Lee's cameos are always awesome in every Marvel movie, and just even, and yeah, I totally agree. I love the setting, but the film is very very badly paced at times. It really takes a while to get something happening. Even once he becomes Captain America, they just have him sing on stage in a costume. I'm like, get to the fucking plot and the action already. We've sat through the 1990s bore fest. We're desperate for something to happen. We're desperate to see Captain America in his prime. But
I mean, so far up to that point, all we'd had was like one action scene. That was when after he became Captain America, like after he came out of the machine, then he chased the guy to the river. We had that one scene, but other than that, we haven't had any action up to that point.
Exactly. So yeah, at least that happened in the first half. But yeah, for the first half, I like the I like the character dynamics and the setting, but yeah, it did have pacing issues. And the second half of the film, I do find pretty mediocre. I mean, but I will say this: Hugo Weaving is a good choice for the Red Skull. I mean, I'm glad Elrond is from Lord of the Rings is the Red Skull. It's like Elrond fell in the fires of Mount Doom and came out just all red.
It's funny actually. You say that. Yeah, you're right. You could make that analogy. I mean, he's always been a great actor. And I when I saw the movie the first time, I'm glad he was in it because it gave me some kind of reminder of Lord of the Rings. So that was good.
Yeah, anything that reminds you of anything that reminds you of Lord of the Rings is an absolute treat. And Hugo Weaving, he does great. So with what he has, and Red Skull isn't an amazing villain by any means, but at least he's good enough. He's at least the Red Skull done right, and we can move on from that one from 1990, and the action in the second half, it was very disappointing that it was just done in montages. I mean, waiting to see Captain America just kick some ass in his prime, and that's all we get. And by the climax, I was because the film was so long. I mean, it is over 2 hours. It's thankfully feels quicker than the 1990s film, but that doesn't say much. And I was I was really trying to care and trying to stay awake. But yeah, you could have trimmed at least 15 minutes from this film, I would say.
There is at least half an hour that could be cut from this movie.
Probably half an hour. Yeah, either 15 minutes or half an hour, I'd say would have been fine. And it's just overall, it's not a terrible film by any means. At least they tried. I mean, they made an effort to bring Captain America to the big screen, and it at least gives us some promise and hope that this will be a great trilogy. But this film did have more potential, and the potential was greatly lost here. It definitely could have been better in a lot of areas. So, but Joe Johnston he tried. I'll give him that, and I still can watch it and find some enjoyment out of it, even though it's one of the MCU movies I put on the least, definitely. So yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give the first Avenger a 6 out of 10.
Oh, so you give it like a pass. You say it's a passable film, but not great.
Yeah, just okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement with you and Jack. The first Avenger, it's not terrible, but I mean, I appreciate it a bit more now, having seen the 1990 movie. Oh God, but it's nowhere near as good as it could have been. I mean, the trailer for this movie looked great, and I was really excited because it was something new I had never seen before. Like in 2011, when the trailer for this came out, it showed all the best bits of the movie, and then I was very surprised when I went to watch it. My uncle took me and my sister to watch it on that hot summer's day, and I mean, what also didn't help was that I think they didn't put on the surround sound in the speakers, or the speakers were broken, and we had to kind of just watch it standardized, and it felt so long and it just dragged for me. And you know, that's the problem. This movie, it's just a bit of a drag. I mean, all the Captain America movies do have pacing problems to varying degrees, but this one is probably, other than the 90s movie, out of the trilogy, this is the weakest because of the pacing. The movie takes ages to get going. I mean, there are some, I mean, it has its entertaining moments and some nice character moments, but after a while, you just feel like you're building up to something. Can you just get on with it now, please? It feels too slow for its own good. I mean, I don't mind the stuff when he's kind of training and he's preparing for the super soldier program, and then, you know, but then when they get to the propaganda stuff, it slows down more. It becomes a chore to kind of sit through it, really. I mean, it felt quicker when I watched it on DVD and Blu-ray. In the cinema, it felt even slower, but it still doesn't make up for it. Chris Evans is good in the role. I like him, and I think he's really turned this into a great role. I have to say, though, I think his best performance was yet to come, but I don't really have any complaints.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any complaints with him here. I think he gives a decent performance here. Haley Atwell's good as Peggy. She's a very strong character, although I like her. I just don't like the way they wrote her character. The fact that she becomes a love.
Ollie, I know you like her for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bazinga. Yeah. I mean, well, I like her in the role. I don't like the way they wrote the character. They made her a love interest, which kind of derailed the whole point of her. Like, she's meant to be this tough agent, and they make her a soft soap by making her a love interest. I don't know. It didn't really work for me, but I mean, I liked her relationship with Steve Rogers. It was fine, but I just thought it could have worked the other way. Like, I don't know. She just became very. She became too soft, is what I'm trying to say. Like, she was just. I mean, she wasn't a damsel in distress or anything like that. But I don't know. I'm probably just being picky, but that's just me.
You're everything soft and smooth.
Oh God, enough of that. That's why he has a shield. He has to block these unfriendly attacks.
He's not as much of a damsel in distress as other love interests in comic book movies.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
That wasn't from a comic book. Oh God.
I know, but it may as well have been that shit film.
Oh God. I'm not doing another hangout on Attack of the Clones. Yeah. The first
don't worry, you won't.
I like the period setting. The 1940s look is very nice, and it definitely feels like 1940s, even though there's a lot of CGI backdrops, which does date the film now. But it looks good enough, and you feel like you're in that time. So I give it credit for that. I also like Sebastian Stan as Bucky. You guys haven't really mentioned him yet. He obviously goes on to change in the next two films. But I think he's pretty good here, and they set up their friendship very nicely in this film. I mean, he obviously doesn't do as much in this one as he does in the later ones because he, supposedly dies off the train, but we find out he doesn't. But yeah, I mean, it takes a while to get going. And when it does get going, by that point, you've lost interest. Like Jack said, by the halfway mark, you kind of think it should have ended, but it should be the end. I don't know. There was when the action was there, it was okay. There's a montage. Like when you finally get action, it's in montage, and
I still understand why Marvel have to stretch all their films out. You're right. They could have just ended at the halfway point when you're watching it.
I think this film, there's easily half an hour scattered across it that you could cut out. It's just too long for its own good. It's over 2 hours, and you feel the length. There's a lot of unnecessary scenes just padding out just to make it feel long, and you should have done this as 1 hour 45. Like Doctor Strange was, I think, 1 hour 50 or 1 hour 55.
Deadpool was the right time. It was just a little bit over an hour and a half.
Yeah. So, I don't know whether it was a decision on Marvel's part or Joe Johnston. I don't know, but either way, we all agree that the film should have been cut down. I think also other characters like Tommy Lee Jones he's pretty good for the scenes he's in. Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull, he's a fucking masterpiece compared to the previous guy, and he's not Italian, which helps.
Captain America.
He's not Italian, which helps. And he has an interesting chemistry with Toby Jones as well, who plays Armin Zola, his sort of henchman, scientist, professor guy. He's such a generic character. I
forgot about him, the Dream Lord.
Yeah, Dobby. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, and the prosthetics are good. They look pretty good, and they look pretty menacing. I'd say the action towards the climax is pretty good, I guess. The climax is entertaining when they find the Tesseract and stuff. So there's some cool fight scenes that are okay, that are done okay. The movie doesn't really have an emotional weight to it until sort of the very end. There's a nice sort of theme about the little man kind of stepping up to be the world's greatest hero and stuff. So that's nice, but there's nothing really dramatic about this movie. It's just kind of nothing. If you know what I mean?
It's forgettable.
Yeah, it's just forgettable. It's a lot of small... It almost feels like a sort of pilot film.
It feels like a TV movie in some ways.
Kind of, yeah. The cinematography is pretty good. I'll give it that. The CGI, though, is dated, and that really shows. Even the ships and stuff, the aeroplane at the end and stuff, and all the green screen footage is it's all a little bit dated by this point. Thankfully, technology would seem to improve in Civil War with Robert Downey Jr. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, the music score is pretty good actually. I do like the music for this movie. I mean, it's not great, but it's good and it's quite memorable. The theme, you know, the da, 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 da. That's quite nice. And there's also I like the cameos as well. We have Natalie Dormer who plays the woman who tries to seduce him and then she kisses him. I mean, my God, she is hot. She's so hot.
Whoa.
Yeah, she really is hot. I mean, in my opinion, I have a massive crush on her.
I think both of them are wow.
So she's good. You've also Jenna Coleman also makes a cameo in this movie at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah, she's one of Bucky's girlfriends. I mean, well, I say that like Bucky's a pimp, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, that's the Red Skull from the previous film.
No, Italian. I'm a gold digger.
Yo, I'm going to sell this shit. Give me your cash, you fucking bitch.
What? God. Yeah, no, but it's nice. So that's all appreciated. And also, actually, you guys haven't mentioned this guy yet. Howard Stark is in the movie. Tony's father. He sort of invents all the machines. So it's nice how that they've sort of you're slowly.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, and it's like a reference to Iron Man, which we'll get later.
Yeah, so you sort of slowly see how all of these movies are now interweaving with the various little threads.
Weaving.
Yeah, well, it wasn't meant to be a pun. Fair enough.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think this film comes up very mediocre. It could have been one of the best Marvel movies if they played their cards right because of the setting as well. The fact that it could have been so unique, but now people have just forgotten about it. I mean, when you talk about Captain America, people go on about the Winter Soldier or Civil War. None of them talk about the 90s movie, and none of them talk about this movie, which is a shame in one way. So it's a waste of potential. It's just, at the end of the day, it comes up a little short. It's mediocre, very mediocre. Also, another cameo that I liked was Richard Armitage. He's also in The Hobbit as well. But in this,
foreign's in this movie.
Yeah, he is. He is. Oh, the gold. He's.
Oh yeah. By the way, when you said they don't talk about the 90s movie, I just searched up Fantastic Four 1994. And someone put the Fantastic Forgotten.
Richard Armitage is the guy that he chases down by the river. But he says, "Who the hell are you?" And he's got the guy by the scruff. That's Richard Armitage. I like the guy. He's such a good actor, and it's nice. So it's nice to see those cameos and stuff. The ending is very good, actually. I do think the ending of this movie is very great, and it sets up nicely for Avengers Assemble. And also Samuel L. Jackson's cameo at the end. So there's a lot of cameos in this film. I think leaving...
Again, motherfucker!
I'm tired of these motherfucking superheroes in this motherfucking universe. Anyway, no, it's appreciated because I think leaving it till the end, it creates a bit more tension as well, like having him turn up in the present day at the end. I think that's where the 90 movie kind of missed a trick. It should have turned. I mean, obviously it's not done now, but it would have worked better for them if they'd had him arrive at the present day at the very end. And I think that's what works with this movie is that like the emotional climax is him sacrificing himself. But the ironic thing is he's not actually dead. He wakes up out of the ice years later. So the movie ended on a very good note. So I'll give the movie that. But at the end of the day, it's just very forgettable. Some okay action scenes towards the end, but nothing really happens. There's not much of a story, and they don't really talk about the Red Skull all that much. He doesn't really make much of an impact. I mean, he's good enough for what he has. I think Joe Johnston was the wrong person to direct this movie. If the Russo brothers had been brought on sooner, I think they would have done a much better job.
Or the Coen brothers.
Well, yeah. Also, Stanley Tucci was wasted as the German doctor. I can't remember the actual character's name, but he's the one that convinces him to go for the super soldier program, but then he dies. So yeah, I'm gonna rate the first Avenger a 5 out of 10. It's just okay. Like, yeah, it's just okay. Thankfully, 3 years later, the series would really start to take off with the Winter Soldier. So, Jack, what do you think of Captain America: The Winter Soldier?
Actually, I was going to ask because I was away at the time. What did Harry give First Avenger?
Harry gave it a 6.
All right. I'd probably give it a 5, like you. Yeah, I mean, Captain America, Winter Soldier. I think this is a really good film. I mean, after yeah, after the two, well, after the completely diabolical one and the other one that was just mediocre, we finally get a good film. And I mean, I really have to, take my hat off to the Russo brothers because they did a fantastic job here. They really did. I mean, their direction is just fantastic. I mean, I remember seeing this in the cinema back in 2014 when it came out, and I just remember being really impressed by this film. I mean, I think Chris Evans here really sells into the role well. He gives a really great performance, and I really like the beginning with this film, and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. He does a really good job. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's pretty much good in anything, but yeah, I mean, he's great. I think as well, the villain is very good. It's very interesting because it turns out to be his friend from
Well, actually, there is a main villain, Alexander Pierce, but obviously he's not the central focus, but he is labeled as the main antagonist. Well, he's marketed as the main antagonist, but whether you choose to see him as the main one, it's you, I guess. But yeah,
I mean, I think for me, he's the main villain because it's called the Winter Soldier. But I mean, it's very interesting because we have Hydra back, and this time they're under the Soviet. Yeah. Heil Hydra! Oh, God. I mean, Heil. I think, like I said, the Winter Soldier is very good. It's interesting because he's a friend of Captain America, Chris Evans' character, and you see what he goes through. Like, he's been brainwashed. He doesn't know who he is. Like, he's been given these commands basically to stop Captain America, to kill him. And I think it's really interesting, the dynamic of this film, because they were once friends, and they were once they were both friends, and they worked together, and now he's being controlled by Hydra under the Soviet Union. He's being brainwashed. And I think the design of the Winter Soldier is really good as well, like the metal arm that he has. And, and it's interesting because, I mean, I think the action scenes here are much better than...
finally!
Yeah, they're much better than the, other previous films. I mean, you have that great action scene where they're in the city and they're going underground. And, I mean, the action here is just so much better. And there's plenty of it as well. So, you never get bored. There's not really any dull moments in this film. I mean, Scarlett Johansson as well. I mean, as Black Widow. Yeah, she is.
Whoa.
Damn, she is fit. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, she's really fit, and she's great in this film. I mean, I think, like I said, the pacing is much better. And I think Chris Evans' outfit as Captain America is much better this time. I mean, I forgot to mention, I mean, it's interesting because at the end of the first Avenger, he's knocked out. Well, they think he's dead, and then he wakes up 70 years later, and he's in the modern day. And I mean, I think his outfit this time as well is much better than the one. Well, I mean, it kicks the arse out of 1991, and I think it was better than the one he had in the previous film, because even the outfit he had in the previous film looked a bit too much like a costume. This one doesn't, and I think it looks really good. I mean, there's some really good moments in this as well. Like, there's that, kind of sad scene where he has to go and see Bernie, and she's in the hospital.
Peggy.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
But
Peggy.
Bernie's we forget about. We don't
Yeah.
talk about her.
Yeah, I got confused. I mean, Peggy is. I mean, there's that nice scene where he comes to see her at the hospital, and it's really.
How old is she then? She must be like 100 years old.
Yeah, I don't know if she's that old, but I mean, she might be actually. Yeah, I mean, and that's a nice scene, and it's cool because you finally you get to see Shield in this film, sort of the formation of Shield, and it's kind of funny, like when Captain America throws his mighty shield. Like,
Well, it's also more about the corruption of Shield and the downfall of Shield. Really, I mean, the fact, like when Nick Fury says, "Oh, we've been compromised," and Hydra obviously are still around all those years later.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting as well, that they're still around, but this time they're working under the Soviet Union, and that's really interesting as well. And it's cool because you get.
They want their birds. Like, what do they want?
And it's also because you have Agent Natasha Romanoff, and they're sent with SHIELD, with the counterterrorism strike team.
More like Agent Natasha Woof Woof.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the pacing of this as well. I think it's really intriguing what's going on when the Winter Soldier's basically this sort of assassin. And I think the direction by the Russo brothers, it's a lot more confident. Like, they finally realized, okay, Captain America, he's a bit of a silly superhero. He's a bit like Superman, but
they've made it more serious.
Yeah, and that's what works about it. They realized, okay, what works and what doesn't work, and they've got it down to a T. I mean, I think the final bit of action as well is great when they're attacking the place. Well, they're fighting on that.
The helicarrier.
Yeah, the helicarrier. Yeah, when they're on there, and basically the Winter Soldier nearly falls and dies, and Captain America saves him, and they jump into the river or whatever it is, and then he manages to knock out Captain America, and he escapes. And it's interesting that sort of the conflict you get here with Captain America. And I mean, I like the fact as well that this film, it's more than just Steve Rogers. You get more characters in this. You get Black Widow. You get all these new characters like Nick Fury in this film, and it all works really well. And I mean, it's funny as well because he recognizes him as Bucky Barnes. And he was experimenting in World War II. And I also like the twist in this film when Nick Fury fakes his death. You're like, oh shit, he's dead, and then it turns out he's alive.
I didn't really get the point of that. Like, I mean, I don't know if you can confirm that, but I thought it was kind of pointless. It didn't add anything because SHIELD was already compromised. So why did he feel the need to hide away? I mean, obviously.
I think he did that because he wanted them to think he was dead, so he could get more information on them to make them look weaker, so we could find out more about them and come back, as it were, sort of surprise them.
Mm.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I said, I guess what you say is right. I mean, I didn't really, because I watched it recently when I reviewed it. I didn't really get that. I just thought it was kind of forced. But I guess from one point of view, I can see it because he's trying to he doesn't want to be detected by them. So going off the radar by faking his death, I suppose it kind of makes sense. But I just thought it felt forced for me. But that's just me.
Yeah, same. I mean, if he was gonna come back in Age of Ultron, why make us believe he was dead in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting as well the way that Hydra's plan is to use the helicarriers, the inside helicarriers, to sweep the globe and use the satellite to eliminate individuals like Rogers and Romanoff and Wilson. I think that's well done. I like the final action scene, like I said, in the helicarrier, where you have Scarlett Johansson there as Black Widow, and she reveals her identity, and they're fighting on the helicarrier, and it's an interesting scene at the end when Captain America, he manages to stop the Winter Soldier, but then he's compromised. He gets, he thinks, he doesn't want to let him die. He doesn't want to let Bucky Barnes die, the Winter Soldier, and he saves him, but he manages to, basically knock him out and leave. And I think overall the Winter Soldier, it's definitely a big step up over the previous two films. I mean, I think the Russo brothers were the right people to get to direct this. I'm glad they didn't bring back Joe Johnston. And finally, we got a good Captain America film. I mean, Captain America's never been. I mean, he's definitely not one of my favorite superheroes, but thank God he finally got a good movie, because I mean, he is the first Marvel superhero, and he does at least deserve one good movie. And I'm glad that they directed this, and they would go on to make other they go on to make another great Captain America film. I mean, is it my favorite out of the four? No, but it's definitely a close second.
What would be your biggest criticisms with the film?
I don't know. I mean, since you pointed out everything was a bit forced. I think it is a bit too long at some points. But the pacing is still a lot better than
but not perfect.
Yeah,
it doesn't fly by.
Yeah.
I still think that this one took ages to get going, but it was quicker than the first one by miles, and the 90s one.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my main criticism. Yeah, it's still a bit too slow, but it's much better paced than the previous two. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
That's a good score. So, Harry.
So thank God for Anthony Russo and Joe Russo. The Russo brothers, just give them an Oscar. They have saved Captain America after one diabolical pile of shit and one just okay movie. Finally, we have a great Captain America movie. Big round of applause. Oh, it's like it's like a waste.
It's about fucking time.
Woo! I'll say hallelujah. Yeah, it's like this movie is just it feels like the Dark Knight of Captain America, because it feels like the Russo brothers just came on and said, we're finally going to make Captain America interesting. We're going to make it epic. We're going to include the great political aspects of it, of like the corruption of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is very engaging, gripping, and Chris Evans, he's definitely better here than he was in the first movie. Finally, he's fully embodied the role. It helped.
Do you think that's also because he had another chance to shine in Avengers Assemble? Do you reckon he found his feet in the role there?
Oh yeah, in the Avengers, that was probably when he finally got it on the ball. I mean, in the climax of that movie, and he continues that here. He's now Captain America. You can finally take him seriously. You finally don't laugh at his performance anymore.
And you don't laugh at his stupid costume.
There's no propaganda, pieces. There's no show business.
There's no thanks, Mr. President.
It's just serious thrills.
I know, right? I mean, the costume is just perfect here. I mean, it's a miracle, and aside, as well as Captain America, there's plenty of other the supporting cast here are great too. Finally, we have a great supporting cast in a Captain America movie. I mean, I do like Peggy's return and their relationship continuing very nicely, and I'm glad Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Black Widow returns. Firstly, just sexy as hell, and oh yeah,
meow.
I'll say, the cap. What is it with the Captain America movies having just such gorgeous women in it? I don't know, but anyway, yes, she was a great addition, and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. I'm glad Nick Fury got much more to do this time, though. I did not see, as you says, Ollie, I did not see the point at all of pretending to kill him off and then have him come back in Age of Ultron. I mean, he might as well have just not faked his death at all. I'll say. I mean, yeah, that would have made so much more sense. And
I mean, because if he was going to go into hiding, he's just off the radar. Then he doesn't need to stage his death because it's too obvious. Like for the villains, like they must think, oh, he can't be dead, surely. Like it's just too obvious. Like for me, anyway.
Exactly. They would have totally figured that out. So yeah, that was a bit of slightly bad writing that could have been improved, but that's just a nitpick. And I love a Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Although he is marketed as the main antagonist, he's much to everyone's surprise not really the villain of this movie. He actually has a much more complicated friendship dynamic with Steve Rogers than that. And
I mean, he's not actually in the movie very much until like the second half.
Yeah, actually. So he may be the title character, but he certainly doesn't get the most screen time. So yeah, but when we do see him, he's a total badass in the action. I love his design, his metal arm, and yeah, he's a very interesting character. So happy they did him just flawlessly in Civil War, which we'll get to a bit later. But and yeah, I also a character you didn't mention. I like Emily Van Camp in this film. I think she's an underrated actress, although she doesn't get much to do here. She was still a nice addition for me. And the action, finally, we have some amazing action in a Captain America film. This is what the action in the 1990s and 2011 movie should have been. I mean, this action just kicks the shit out of the action in those two films. I mean,
even that opening action sequence on the boat kind of really puts it in perspective. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling it now. Like this movie made me like Captain America. This movie made me appreciate Captain America a lot more.
Yeah.
Not only do I say that, but not only do you say that, but I think that action scene in the boat kicks the shit out of that action scene in Tomorrow Never Dies in the boat, even though it's a different genre. But
yeah, oh yeah, I probably agree with that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess this movie made many respect Captain America more. He's now probably a top 10 most popular heroes of all time after this film, and I love pretty much every action scene in this film. The stunt work is great, and it actually looks real. Yeah, the CGI here looks so much better than it did in First Avenger. It doesn't look dated in the slightest. And one of my favorite action scenes is the elevator scene when Cap just takes out all those guys in the elevator. That's just classic, and I love the epic climax with the Hell Carriers on. And yeah, that was pretty epic, pretty intense, and I even like Falcon in this movie. He was nicely designed and great addition. Yeah, and yeah. Although I will admit, as much as I really like this film, I will admit. I will agree with you guys. It's not perfect. I mean, I do think it is slightly overrated. I've heard people give this film just 5 stars out of 5, call it perfect. I wouldn't quite go that far. I mean, it definitely definitely has pacing issues in the first half. It's not too slow, but it could have been improved a little. But in the second half, I didn't have any issues with the pacing whatsoever. That's when the film really found its footing, and it flew by in comparison to the other two. I will give it that. So yeah, Winter Soldier, a great sequel. It stepped up from First Avenger, especially the 1990s one, in every way. It's thank goodness this movie happened, and thank God the Russo brothers returned for Civil War. So yeah, I I can gladly give the Winter Soldier a very strong 8 out of 10.
Excellent. Also, it's worthy to note, guys, there was the senator from Iron Man 2. He makes a cameo in the film as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think actually, no, he doesn't die, does he? No, someone dies. It's that other guy that dies, isn't it? The one they interrogate on the roof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Winter Soldier. Well, I tell you what, thank fuck for this movie. This movie saved the franchise, saved Captain.
Yay!
And it definitely proved that Captain America could be more than just a propaganda piece. It could be something very intriguing. There's almost kind of like a thriller espionage feel to this movie. I mean, I love the story. I think the story's fantastic. The way it deals with the corruption of Shield and almost how Cap is kind of starting to not trust Shield anymore, as he's not being told all the information he needs to, and it makes for some great drama. Like the scene with Nick Fury at the beginning when he's like, I can't lead a mission if the people I'm leading have missions of their own. So he's really starting to doubt them. So that's interesting. And obviously, it goes on from there. They have to go on this trip, and then they discover that Hydra's still behind all of it, and it's all linked. And I mean, as well as this movie being set in the modern day, what I like about it is that it doesn't forget about the first movie. It does continue from the first film, although I think it's more of a sequel to the Avengers really than the first Avenger, because if you watch this straight after the first Avengers, you probably won't get all of the plot gists, but I mean more or less. But it's great. It's really great, and I think the best thing about it is the direction. The Russo brothers have done superbly with this. They've grounded it. They've made it engaging and thrilling. And they've almost kind of broken the mold, if that makes sense. They've kind of broken the convention of Captain America. They've strived less for the kind of the cheesy,
broken a shield.
Yeah, the sort of cheesy lighter tone. And they've kind of focused it on more on Shield and also Captain America's struggle really to deal with the fact that he's being targeted. He's being wanted. Even though I mean he's got a few people on his side, but. So I think it's really interesting. The action of this movie, fucking about time. It's about fucking time. Fantastic action sequences, really, really good. It's gritty, brutal. It's almost like the Casino Royale of Captain America, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it feels like anyway with the action.
You know my name, Captain America.
Arm yourself because no one else here will save you. I mean, it's great. So the action's awesome. I think particularly the climax is one of the most entertaining pieces of action. And that's awesome. I also love the intriguing personal story about Bucky and how he's struggling to deal with the fact that Bucky is no longer Bucky, but also Bucky survived. And how does he deal with the fact that Bucky is different? Sorry, I repeated Bucky a lot of times. But
Buck Rogers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the performances are fantastic this time. Chris Evans is brilliant in this movie. He's really settled into the role and he's really found his feet. And he's kind of given it a raw reality. If that makes sense. He's just a guy who's in this situation, and he's a lot more confident as well, which I think helps. And he kicks ass in the action scenes. Scarlett Johansson gives probably one of her best performances as Black Widow / Natasha, whatever you want to call her, the sexy minx. She also kicks a lot of ass as well. The way she's always trying to get Captain America to go on a date is kind of interesting. You also have Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. He's good, although again, I don't like the stage death. It never sat well with me. Every time I watch it, I just think this doesn't work. It's so forced. Like Nick Fury faking his death. Like you could just have him on the run. He could have joined them. Why couldn't he have just joined them? And he could have hidden away. Like we found him in the second half of the movie when he's hidden away. Why couldn't why did you have to stage his death? You know, it didn't really make sense. You know, because there's no real reaction to when they see him alive again. They're just like, oh, he's alive. Like, would you agree, Harry? Like, there's no genuine shock value from it. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, right. They don't seem shocked in the slightest. If one of my great friends had literally come back to life, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be overjoyed. Yeah, there's barely any reaction. So yeah,
And they never ask him why he did it. Like, they never ask him why he staged his death.
Exactly. You'd think they'd be scratching their heads there. Yeah, that definitely could have been improved in the writing department.
Yeah. Also, the other character I have to mention is Falcon, Sam Wilson. Anthony Mackie does a good job, and he's just kind of there at the beginning, and then he becomes a bit more of an integral part towards the second half. And I think he's just an awesome character, and he's just so cool with his wings and everything. He's great, and I'm glad that he returned for Civil War, and also he's also in Ant-Man as well, in the film Ant-Man. So that's awesome. The writing itself is very good. It's much better than the previous movies. Apart from the Nick Fury death thing, it's mostly all very good. It's it feels less like a superhero movie and more like an engaging personal story, but there's also a thriller element to it, which is fantastic. I also, sorry, talking about the cast, I forgot to mention Emily Van Camp, who plays Peggy's niece. I can't remember her name. I think her name's Sharon. She does a good job. She gets more to do in the next one, but she's pretty good here. I do have to say the weak link of the cast, which none of you guys have mentioned, is Robert Redford as Alexander Pierce. To me, he's a nothing villain. I just don't care about him. He's basically this man in suit. That's it. He's a generic man in suit.
I will say that Robert Redford is a good actor.
He's a fine actor. The performance was fine, but it wasn't really menacing, and he wasn't really like. There's nothing unique about him. He was just a guy in a suit, really. And
if you want to see a good Robert Redford film, watch Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Okay, I might do that. But yeah, no, he didn't. As far as this movie goes, I mean, he tried with what he had to work with, but he didn't really. He wasn't the standout for me. I mean, you could see the guy was a dick, and he was kind of trying to, twist the knife, but he didn't really do much as well. And his death was really. It was like, oh, okay, he's gone. Like, he's a very forgettable villain. Probably one of the.
That's probably why I forgot to mention him.
Yeah, that's probably true. The movie's very long. It's 2 hours 15 minutes. I think it is a bit too long. It's even longer than the first film, but
same length as the first Superman film.
Sorry?
It's the same length as the original Superman film.
Oh, 2 hours.
Christopher Reeve. Yeah.
Yeah, although that movie got an extended cut, but this one, yeah, I mean, I think for the most part the pacing's fine, but for me, the thing that bogs this film down is the first 45 minutes. Oh God, it sagged so much. It felt really slow at the first 5 minutes. Like, you could have at least shaved 15 minutes out of it. There was just so many scenes of talking. Like, there's loads of preamble when, like, he's talking to the Falcon, like. And then he goes to the museum. I mean, the Peggy scene was nice, and the action scene on the boat was good. But all the other scenes when he's kind of talking to Nick Fury, he's just talking to the Falcon. It's like, you could lose some of this. You don't need it. It's all just set up, and it's all like, it's unnecessary. It's just there to pad the film out.
That part of the film felt your Fury.
Oh yeah, lol. So yeah, I mean, it's not a major problem, but it is a problem for me, and also it was the whole Nick Fury thing as well. It takes ages to get going. I mean, when it gets going, the part when it really gets going for me is when during that elevator scene. That's when it really grabbed my interest, and I was like, oh, okay, now I'm engaged, because Shield had finally gone down.
Gone down the lift.
Yeah, so that was nice. There's also a nice flashback scene with him and Bucky. That's quite nice. So there's some good character moments. I didn't like the kiss scene. That was forced. Why did they do that? They didn't need to do that. I think I like his relationship with Black Widow. That's very good. And she's trying to she's trying to get him to date somebody, but it's nice that she's also on his side this time. I mean, in the next movie, she obviously changes sides, so that's interesting. The CGI is so much better than the first movie. It still holds up 3 years later. It just feels so realistic as well. I think there's also less CGI, if I remember correctly. I mean, obviously the helicarriers and whatnot, they have to CGI that, but it works very well. Like I said, yeah, the movie's a bit long. I think it takes a while to end as well. Like after the final climax is long, and it does go on for a bit. And like when they finally get to the very end, when he's like, "I'm not going to fight you," and then he drags him from the river. And that last scene takes a while to go. It's like, come on, we've had the big battle. Let's go home now. Let's end. So my only issues really with the film are the pacing at the very beginning. The first 45 minutes are really slow. Robert Redford's character isn't impactful enough. He's not very good. And just really the whole stage death thing just didn't really work for me. But I love all of the Hydra stuff, how it all links back to the first film, and how it also it sets up for the next movie with the very end when he says, I'm going to find Bucky and whatnot. So it's a very good continuation from the first movie. It's a very strong film, and also I think it's one of the most original plots of any MCU film. But it's not perfect. I think it is overrated. It's not the masterpiece that everybody makes it out to be. Yeah. So I'm going to give The Winter Soldier an 8 out of 10. It's a good 8 out of 10. So let's move on to the final movie in this reflection, Captain America: Civil War. So, Jack, what do you think of Captain America: Civil War?
Captain America: Civil War. I mean, war. Joking. Yeah, I think this is a.
Yeah, they turned him. The third movie was when they turned him into a stripper.
Civil War, lol. No. Captain America: Civil War. I really, really like this film. I think out of all the Captain America films, this is probably, well, I'd say definitely the best. And for me, probably the best Marvel movie in a long time. I mean, you could sort of make the argument that it's kind of an Avengers film, and that's what I like about it. I mean, after the
but it doesn't forget that it's a Captain America movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I like about it, is the fact that it's kind of like, okay, Age of Ultron was shit. We're gonna make it up with this film, but
It was right.
Yeah, but it's still a Captain America film as well, and that's what I like about it. I mean,
the Avengers movies at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Age of Ultron was all right.
Me too.
I didn't like it, to be honest. I just thought the villain was awful and it wasn't very good. But but I mean, this film, I mean, Civil War, I think, yeah, it's definitely the best Captain America film. And, I said this is probably Chris Hemsworth's, I keep saying Hemsworth, Chris Evans' best performance as Captain America.
Just to clarify, he's the one with the hammer. And Chris Pratt's the one with the dancing.
Say Chris Pratt?
Yeah, Chris Pratt's the one who dances around.
Oh, God, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, there are a lot of Chris's in the MCU.
Dancing, the greatest thing there is.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, but maybe the second will be good. But anyway, Captain America: Civil War. I mean, I think this is definitely the best Captain America film, and I think it's one of the best Marvel films in a while. Actually, I mean, what I really like is just the conflict in this film. I mean, when I first heard they were doing this, like they were doing it as a reaction to Batman v Superman, I just thought to myself, this isn't going to work. Like, how are they going to get this to work? But they managed to do it, and it was even better than Batman v Superman.
Oh, way better.
Yeah, way better. Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
because I know you like it, Harry. I'm sorry. No.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind Captain. Sorry, I didn't mind Batman v Superman. It was better than Man of Steel. Although I know Harry really likes that one, but fair enough. About some wars, I just love the conflict in this film. I mean, I think Chris Evans gives his best performance in this. I just really like the fact that you start off in that marketplace, whatever it is, and you have Black Widow like having a cup of coffee or tea, whatever, and she's sort of talking to the other Avengers, and we see there's this big fight going on, and you have Elizabeth Olsen in this. I'd say Elizabeth Olsen, whoo, I mean, I think she's even fitter than Scarlett Johansson in this film. I mean, she's stunning.
I didn't take much notice of her in Age of Ultron, but in this movie, she looks pretty attractive.
Yeah,
I think she's improved her accent as well.
Yeah,
like a Russian accent in the previous one.
Yeah, I didn't really care for her in Age of Ultron, but she's really good in this. I mean, I just think it's interesting because you have that scene at the marketplace, and that guy gets killed, and then you have basically this conflict with the UN or whatever it is, the United Nations, where they're basically saying that these superheroes can't take the law into their own hands, or basically vigilantes, and they can't do that. And I just like the conflict. Like we see Captain America's, he says, he's like, we could do whatever we want. We're superheroes. We have to do this. And you see Iron Man basically saying, no, we got to have rules. We can't just, do whatever we want. We're breaking laws. That person got killed. And you just basically see Captain America. He just doesn't care. He just thinks, we're superheroes. We're above the law. We have to do this. The criminals must pay. And I just love the conflict between Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. I think Robert Downey Jr. Here ups his game after Age of Ultron, where he just sort of gave it mediocre performance. But here, I think he's a lot better. I mean, you really see the conflict between both of them, and I just like the drama in this film. I mean, I'd say it's like, even though you've got the action, it's more of a drama as well, because you see these people torn apart. Shield is torn apart. The Avengers are torn apart, and that's what I like about it. Like, we see, we see Iron Man and Black Widow. They're basically like, we gotta have rules. We gotta, we can't just be reckless. And I like that scene where they're in the UN and it gets bombed, and then we find out it was like they think it was the Winter Soldier, and Chris Evans goes after him, and he finds the Winter Soldier, and he tells him it wasn't him, and I like the fact that in this film, that they brought back Bucky Barnes, and this time he's fighting for Chris. Like, he's getting his memories back. He realizes,
Chris.
yeah. Sorry, Captain America. Yeah, I mean, he's just
Marvel 101. Know your Chris.
yeah. They should just have Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and the other Chris. Yeah, Chris Pratt, the three Chris's. It'll be like the three doctors, the three Chris's. But I mean, I think, I like the fact that Bucky Barnes is here, and he's fighting for Captain America. He's fighting for Steve Rogers, and he's trying to get his memory back, and I like that stuff. And I also like Iron Man, the fact that he's basically, they're conflicting with each other. Iron Man's trying to reach out to Captain America, but Captain America's like, no, we're above the law. We're superheroes. We can do this. And he's just like, we can't. We got to have rules. And throughout the whole film, I was on Iron Man's side, because if you think about it, Captain America in this film, he is kind of in the wrong. I mean, basically sees it as, fuck it, we're superheroes. We can do this stuff if we want.
I don't think he means like it's like, well, bad things happen. We try our best to save everybody, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But he doesn't mean it as like we're above the law. It just means it's like, well, sometimes we just can't save everyone. It's just the way it works. But so he's kind of unwilling to, you know, he doesn't want to feel like they're restricted. It was like he doesn't want their free will to be taken away by the government.
Yeah.
I that's his understanding of it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, I mean, they introduce a lot of characters in this film, and they just balance it out perfectly. I mean, I think,
Thankfully, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's great because we have the introduction of Black Panther, and I think the guy who plays Black Panther is quite good. You see that it turned out that the guy that they blew up was his father, and he's trying to go after the Winter Soldier because he believes he killed him, and like we find out
this film was going to be good, the Black Panther film.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's interesting, yeah, because he's going after the Winter Soldier, and because he thinks he believed he killed his father. I mean, I think the action scenes here are even better than they were in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, because you have those scenes where they're chasing after, well, when the Winter Soldier's chasing after the bad guys. Sorry, Panther's chasing after the Winter Soldier, and you have them in the tunnels, and then Captain America, you know, tries to stop him and all that, and Iron Man, and you know, it's just a really, I think it was actually Iron Man in that scene, yeah, and it's just a really good scene. Like I said, I mean, you got Elizabeth Olsen in this, and she's much better, and you know, and she's really fit. I mean, especially that corset or whatever it is she's wearing, that corset with the jacket. She's really fit in it, and you know, I like Paul Bettany as well as the as this computer guy. I forget his name, the red guy. I've forgotten his name, but he's good in it as well. And I just like the conflict, and you know, the scenes like when we're introduced to the new Spider-Man. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, you know, I was sort of reserved when they announced Tom Hollander, I think his name was, and you know, when they announced him, I was kind of like a bit, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, but he's great as a new Spider-Man. Like, you know, that scene where Iron Man encounters him, and you know, we find out he's already gone across the city as Spider-Man, and he's already, you know, he's got his own outfit, and then Iron Man gives him an outfit, and he joins his team. And I like the fact that, you know, we see basically that, you know, Iron Man, you know, he's pissed off with Captain America. You know, he thinks, you know, that Captain America just doesn't, you know, he just thinks Captain America is too stubborn. And I mean, it's interesting because we never really had superheroes fighting each other in a film before. Well, apart from Batman v Superman, but not on this scale. We haven't seen superheroes, you know, have a full out, you know, war on each other. And that's what's great about it. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, the fact that there is conflict between the superheroes just makes it even better. You know, I mean, I think, you know, the action scenes, like I said, is great as well. Like that big one where they meet at the airport, when you have Ant-Man and you have all these other characters, you have Black Panther and all that. And, you know, it was, you know, I mean, you could tell that they went too far when Iron Man, well, sorry, you know, you could tell they went too far when Iron Man's friend got killed. Well, he got massively paralyzed. I mean, it was an accident. It was an accident, but you could tell, you know, they sort of went too far with the fact that this guy's now paralyzed. And I love the ending of the film, like when they all leave, and you know, you have Iron Man there. You know, he basically wants revenge on Captain America and Steve Rogers. And I just like the fact that as well we get more in the backstory of Iron Man. Like he opened up with that conference, and you know, and we see like there's a flashback, I think, to when he was a kid, and you know, his mother and father, and we found out that actually Iron Man actually finds out that Bucky Barnes, you know, the Winter Soldier, he was programmed, he was brainwashed to kill Iron Man's, Tony Stark's parents, and that's quite a dramatic scene when you first see it. That's quite dramatic, and you know, we see him angry over it. He's, you know, he's pissed off at Captain America for protecting him, and you know, Steve Rogers, you know, he tries to explain, you know, that it wasn't his fault. And I just love the whole conflict there when Iron Man finds out that the Winter Soldier killed his parents. And I think as well, it just adds another layer to the film. Yeah, and I also really like the I just think, yeah, the action scenes are great as well. Like
the airport action scene, that's great. When Spider-Man comes in, that's really great. But when he's like, when he has all these one-liners, that's great. And like I said, the actor Tom Hollander, I think his name is, like, he's only a teenager, but he gives a great performance.
I think he's about like 20, something like that. He's not very old.
Yeah. Well, I heard he was younger, but anyway, I mean, he gives a really good performance, and
yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming should be great.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah. I mean, I just love the conflict. I love the fact that Tony Stark and Captain America. I mean, it's just great drama in this film. It's not just all action scene. It's not like Batman v Superman where they're really just fighting for no real reason.
Yeah. Even then, it wasn't much of a fight. It was more of a tussle. I mean, it built up to that, and I thought it was underwhelming.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this film is it's great. I mean, and the fact that you see these superheroes just so split and they're fighting, and it literally is a war. You see all these superheroes fighting each other. I think is great, and and I love that scene at the end. When Iron Man does find out that the Winter Soldier killed his parents, and Captain America Steve Rogers defends him, and then Iron Man gets really pissed off, and there's that huge fight at the end between them. And they're basically kicking the shit out of each other, and we find another villain in Hydra who manages to escape, and then Black Panther kills him in the end. And I mean that final action scene is just fantastic. When Captain America and Iron Man are just full out, kicking the shit out of each other, and just I mean, and there's that really kind of powerful scene at the end where Captain America, he gets his shield and he starts like slamming it into Iron Man's chest. He just keeps constantly slamming it, and you think to yourself, God, is he going to kill Captain America? Is he going to destroy the core? Is he going to kill? Sorry, not Captain America, Iron Man. Is he going to kill Iron Man? Is he going to destroy the core? Like, saying like you really thought Captain America might have gone that far and killed Iron Man, like destroying his core nearly. I mean. And just the way at the end when Captain America finds his friend is paralyzed and he wants revenge. I mean, it's just really intriguing to set it up for the next film. For I think the next Avengers film. I mean, I heard this might be the last Captain America film. I heard Chris Evans said he doesn't want to do any more. I mean, whether they do or not.
Well, apparently I think he's confirmed for Infinity War, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know Avengers Infinity War, but apparently he doesn't want to do any more Captain America films, which is fair enough because I mean I think
3's a good amount.
Yeah, 3's a good. Yeah, 3's a good amount, and they're making more Iron Man films anyway. So there's Robert Downey Jr. wants to make another Iron Man film, so I think it's kind of good for him to walk out at this point after Infinity War. But I mean, overall, I just really enjoy this film. I think it's a really great film. I mean, it says Civil War in the title, and you get it, and you get a Civil War. And I just love the whole drama, the intrigue, the fact that the superheroes are so split over this decision, and the fact that they become enemies in the end. Iron Man and Captain America, they become enemies. They're basically almost mortal enemies. But I like the fact that in the end, Captain America spared Iron Man's life, but you can really tell that superheroes are split apart on this.
And in his letter, he apologizes for. He's like, if you need me, I'll be here for you.
Yeah, but you see Iron Man, he doesn't really accept that. But I just think this is a great film. I mean, I think it's the best Marvel film for a while. I mean. Deadpool is made by Fox, I think, so can't really count that as a Marvel film. But
yeah,
I think this sort of it after Age of Ultron, which I think let a lot of people down or disappointed them at least. I think it made up for that. It made up for the disappointment of that film. It's also a great Captain America film, and it ends the trilogy off really well. Like I said, the drama's great, the action's great as well. The fight between the superheroes, Spider-Man's great. The whole cast is excellent. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Nice. So, Harry.
So yeah, Captain America: Civil War. I can honestly say this is easily the best of the 4 Captain America movies, topping even the Winter Soldier. The Russo brothers, not
What
to
about the
add-
1991?
Oh yeah.
We need you to say
Oh,
more.
he certainly did. Yeah. This just kicks the absolute shit out of the 1990s. I mean,
But it's the icing on the cake.
yeah, totally the icing on the cake. And yeah, thank goodness that that the Russo brothers knocked it out of the fucking park, because this is a great end to the Captain America trilogy. And if this is the last Captain America movie, I'm really pleased with it. They went out with a bang. I mean, both Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are both fantastic in this film. I mean, this is probably their best performances in the entire MCU series. Chris Evans, he's the man. He is completely confident in the role of Captain America by this point. And Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, I mean, he gives such a powerful, heart-wrenching performance. You feel for both of them. You get both of their motivations. I mean, I understand if Jack feels that Cap is in the wrong, but I personally, I kind of got where they were both coming from. I mean, Cap just wanted to protect people without.
I mean, there's no
without
real like right or wrong. I think that's what's great is that the Russo brothers want you to kind of decide for yourself. It's like there's no real right person or wrong. Both of them have particularly good justified reasons.
I mean, you could see it from either point. You could either see it as, you know, both of them are right in their own way, or one's right over the other. I mean, it does say in the poster, whose side are you on? So it's sort of, you have to make the judgment for yourself.
Yeah, that's what gives you a great experience with this movie. You go into it deciding whose side you're going to be on. Are you going to root for? Are you going to join Team Cap or Team Iron Man? And I was.
I don't know. I might go for a bit of both. You know, I like to change it up a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just with both of them, really. I just wanted them both to put aside their differences and just get along and just I mean and I felt for Tony when one of his when one of his students has been killed, and his mother comes to him complaining about it, and oh gosh, I'm like, Tony's having to deal with a lot of shit right now. I wouldn't want to be in that position. And yeah, I love all of the new cast in this film. I mean, I freaking love Black Panther. Black Panther has been done excellently. Cannot wait for his solo film. And Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Well, of course, he's the standout of the new characters. I mean, Tobey Maguire is still by far my favorite Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because I'm just a Sam Raimi fanboy. But I fucking despise the Mark Webb movies, which I'll definitely review on my channel in anticipation of
we us three should do Spider-Man reflections before the new movie comes out. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, I was going to say I'm with you. The original Spider-Man films are my favorite as well. I even like Spider-Man 3, which I know a lot of people think was shit, but
I mean, even if people hate Spider-Man 3, I still say it's better than the Andrew Garfield ones. It's not Garfield himself; it's just the filmmaking wasn't great.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man 3 better than both amazing Spider-Man films combined, I'd say. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the Spider-Man reflections, and can't wait for Spider-Man Homecoming. But yeah, Tom Holland, he's still he's my second favorite Spider-Man easily. He's the right age. He has such great one-liners when, like in the airport battle where he's referencing the Battle of Hoffa. That was hilarious. And they couldn't have picked a better choice to follow Tobey Maguire. And I still love the other members of the team of Team Cap and Team Iron Man. Like, I agree, Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch is definitely done better in this than in Age of Ultron. Her accent's
And she's damn sexy.
oh yeah, she looks lovely, and I'll give her that. So yeah, she was done much better, and I love Vision from Age of Ultron. I still love Rhodey and Falcon and Natasha, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. Although I do feel that that some of the team were a bit wasted in this film. Some of them didn't get as much to do as others. That really could have been improved. And although I can gladly say that this film has the best pacing of the Captain America movies by far. I mean, as much as I really like Winter Soldier, the pacing in the first act kind of dragged, but here I never felt like this film dragged, despite being.
Which is ironic because it is the longest. It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yet it feels easily the quickest. How did they do that? That's incredible. And so
because they have to put so much in there that they kind of needed the long running time, but they used it really well. They didn't just throw everything in all at once with the kitchen sink. They built up to it. They made you, excited that they made you feel like you had to earn that airport scene. That like by the time you got there, you feel like it was earned, and it was fan service, but you felt like it worked with the conflict in the movie. It was built up really well. I thought that was effective.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. That airport scene was abso-fucking-lutely earned. The action in this movie is the best of the Captain America trilogy. Even exceeding the Winter Soldier. The airport battle is probably one of the best action scenes in any superhero movie. It's so creative, so epic, so just so excellently shot, and it's never boring. It's consistently engaging. And
I love Ant-Man in the scene as well. He's funny in that scene.
Oh yeah, when he grows to well 3 stories and just
that was great.
Yeah, that was epic. Where he just tears shit up, and so when
I was expecting it, like Paul Rudd was in Anchorman. I was just expecting him to go like Sex Panther powers activate, like.
Definitely. Yeah, totally. And there's so I'm glad that despite the action being spectacular, this is a more character-driven superhero story, kind of like with the X-Men movies. There's great substance to the action, like when Rhodey gets shot and Tony's just standing over his body. That's a really powerful moment. You just don't want anybody to get hurt in this situation, and just the ending of the climax. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely heart-wrenching and shocking. It's probably the darkest moment in all 4 Captain America movies, where when we see the clip of Bucky just strangling Tony's parents, and Tony he looks at Cap for protecting Bucky, and he's fucking pissed. He's gonna knock the shit out of both of them, and just the final fight it's powerful. It's incredible, and I was really tearing up. I'm not gonna lie, and the moment when, just like when Jack said, when Cap almost kills Tony. Oh my gosh, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I really I was really on the edge of my seat at that moment, and thank God he didn't kill Tony. Thank God he chose to be civil and spares him and writes a letter of apology. That was really nice. And that was, gosh, what a way to end. I mean, after Civil War, I cannot wait to see where they take Cap and Tony's relationship in Infinity War, the third Avengers movie. And yeah, Captain America: Civil War. It's I wouldn't quite call it a flawless masterpiece as most would say. I mean, I do feel that some of the members of the team are a bit wasted and could have gotten a bit more to do, but that would probably be his only criticism of this film. Other than that, it's a near perfect film, and even though I actually liked Batman versus Superman, I can gladly say this film probably did the superheroes actually fighting each other in a movie better, because that's something we've never seen, as Jack says. So yeah, Civil War, such it's a fantastic movie and easily the best of this Captain America trilogy. Boy, did it end it on a high note, and I will gladly watch Civil War again and again, and happily. And I will happily give this movie a well-earned 9 out of 10.
Excellent. Well, I pretty much agree with Harry. Civil War is really good. It took me a few viewings to kind of appreciate it, because the first time I watched this movie at the cinema, when I watched it at the cinema, I was rather tired and it was a late showing, and I think I'd been to work that day as well, so I was really halfway through it, I was struggling to stay awake. Not because I didn't like it, just because I found it hard to concentrate. But watching it recently, because I reviewed it, it's really good. I mean, it is clearly the best of the Captain America movies, all four of them. Even though the first early one in the 90s doesn't really exist. Well, not that we say it does anyway. It's a very good film, and I mean, I was really worried when the trailers were coming out, because I was worried that it was going to feel like Avengers 2.5, which arguably it kind of does. But I think what's great about this movie is that it doesn't forget that it's a Captain America movie. It still continues after the events of the Winter Soldier. It's a big story. You know, he's still trying to look for Bucky, as well as all of this, all of this plot, the main plot going on, which sets up the conflict. It's like, should the superheroes, give in and sign themselves over to the government, or should they continue doing what they're doing and stand on their own free will? And that's interesting. And the conflict is brilliant between Iron Man and Captain America. So I really like that. And obviously, one of my favorite scenes is when Tony talks to the woman of the dead student, the mother, of the dead student, and she says, "Oh, you didn't care, not first. You didn't give a damn about all of that. You just let him die," and that kind of puts it all in perspective. And it's a really powerful scene, and it also kind of foreshadows kind of Tony's heartbreak as well, because of his discovery of his parents and how they died. And so that's very interesting, how Bucky was the one that killed his parents. So, which causes a lot of tension. So there's a lot of tension in this movie, and that's what works really well. There's a conflict that is massive and is building and building and building. And when it finally, there's enough action as well to keep you going, which is great. But when it finally builds to that big fight in the airport, it's just great. I mean, you just watch it and you go, this is great. This is what I wanted to see. It's, and it's not just fan service for the sake of it. It kind of is, but it works with the story. It's dramatic and it's emotional, and people are getting hurt, and it's just so awesome. It's really awesome, and the direction by the Russo brothers is flawless this time. They've really pulled out all the stops. I think the performances are really good. Chris Evans has really found his feet in the role. He's really found himself, and I really like him in this film. I think this is probably his best performance out of all 5 movies he's been in, because he's been in Avengers 1 and 2 as well. Robert Downey Jr.'s best performance as well, I think, as well. He gives a much more emotional performance. You can see him really kind of actually the first time that we've actually seen him actually kind of give a shit about what's going on. Because Iron Man is a narcissistic dick. So he's a good guy, but he's a narcissist. He loves himself and he doesn't really care about anybody else. I know he kind of does in the Iron Man trilogy. When he becomes Iron Man, he starts to care about people, but deep down he really just cares about himself. So it's nice to see him kind of come out of his shell. He kind of is a different character than what we're used to. I don't want to go through all the characters because there'll be too many. But like Scarlett Johansson's great, Falcon's great, Elizabeth Olsen is great, and she's improved her accent as well from the Age of Ultron, so that's good. It's all these characters coming together. It's fantastic. It's great, and it's interesting to see who goes on whose side as well. I love the introduction to the new characters like Black Panther. He's going to be great. I'm looking forward to his film. Tom Holland as Spider-Man, he's great. Although I still prefer Tobey Maguire, but that's just me. I just feel like we haven't seen enough of Tom Holland yet for me to really compare him to the other two. So I'm waiting until Homecoming before I officially rank the three Spider-Mans actors, the three actors who I prefer. I'm a Raimi fan. I love the Raimi movies. I love elements of the third one as well, even though the third one is the weakest. The tone of this movie is so, I want to say, I don't think it's dark. I think it's just dramatic, and that's what works. And the biggest fight really is the climax when Captain America and Iron Man fight each other at the end, and that's such a powerful fight scene. I mean, the action is so good. I mean, obviously the best action scene is the airport scene, but all of the action beforehand is great. The opening action scene is great too in Nigeria. And when Elizabeth Olsen almost when she kills those people by accident, that's a really powerful moment as well. Also, you guys didn't mention about the CGI Robert Downey Jr. when he looks like 20 years younger. That kind of freaked me out when I first saw it. I was like, what the hell? That's a bit strange. I mean, it's very good for what it is, but it looks better when they did it with Peter Cushing in Rogue One. But still, for what they did, it was cool to see it, I guess. I think it's a long movie, it's a long ride, but by the end you feel that was completely worth it. I'll say this: my main problem really is the sort of the main, well, who they market as the main villain, Baron Zemo. He's the guy who's after all of the evidence. He's basically just there, like, because they need an antagonist. But I don't think he did much at all. Like, he could have done a lot more. I thought he was a bit better than Robert Redford's character in the previous movie, but he didn't do much for me. So
all the Captain America villains have been pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, because there was that scene when he interrogated the guy for the evidence tape, but ultimately you could have cut that scene out and it wouldn't have affected the film whatsoever. You could argue that at some points there is too much going on in this movie, which is debatable. I think for the most part it keeps itself pretty consistent, but there are times when it gets bloated and you're like, okay, well, it's getting a bit much. But I think for the most part it's great, and there's some nice individual character moments, too many to mention, that work really well. And Scarlett Johansson's very good in this movie because it's interesting seeing her character change sides, and you never think she would join Tony Stark because she doesn't really like him. So, I mean, that's interesting, and it all builds to that emotional climax at the end. He nearly kills Iron Man. I love it. It's great, and obviously the very end when he writes him the letter is really good too. The CGI is also very good. The visual effects, it's epic. It's really epic, and I think it's much more satisfying than Batman vs Superman, which for me, because the problem with Batman vs Superman, there was so much hype around it. It was built up so much, and then by the end, when you finally got to that fight, it was just nothing. Like, that was it. It was nothing. I mean, I tried to watch the extended cut as well, but it bored me even more, so I couldn't get through it.
I thought the title fight of Batman versus Superman was probably the best part of it.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it was entertaining, but it was like the actual fight between the two of them wasn't great. But the final fight was entertaining, I suppose. But it wasn't enough for me. Whereas this was much more satisfying. I say, I mean, yeah, arguably it could be Avengers 2.5, but you know, they keep Captain America the main protagonist, which I like, and also there's a great scene with Peggy's funeral, which I thought was very nice. I didn't expect that. I'm really glad that they didn't forget about the first two movies either. You know, it wasn't just like completely derivative of the first two. There's continuity. So obviously, because the MCU is now like a series of interweaving movies, that. But I like the funeral scene. It also added a lot of tension and a lot of emotion because a lot of people that Rogers knows die. You know, well, a lot of people that he knew died back then, and he was closer to her. And yeah, it was very sad. And obviously, he grows closer to Emily Van Camp's character, Sharon, who's her niece. They have a bit of a moment where they kiss as well, so that's interesting. Could you call him a 95-year-old virgin?
Absolutely. A 95-year-old guy is basically having feelings for a 30-year-old girl, because that's Emily Van Camp's age in real life.
Yeah. I think the ice made Cap's dick a bit limp.
Totally.
All those years under the ice. The score isn't particularly memorable, but I don't think the movie relies on its soundtrack too much. But so I'll forgive it for that. But it would have been nice to have a bit more of an epic soundtrack. But it's fine for what it is. The direction is spot on by the Russos. How they managed to juggle all of this, I do not know. I also like Martin Freeman's little cameo role. He has a nice little cameo role, and he does a good American accent. So it's great now that both Cumberbatch and Freeman are in Marvel now, which I think is quite impressive. Yes, the movie's quite long. There are sections when it probably could be trimmed, but overall I'm going to forgive it, because at the end of the day they needed to put so much into this that it would have been really difficult to do it in a shorter amount of time. But you could argue there are a couple of occasions of padding, but it is the best paced of the four movies. So yeah, I would say that. And it ends the trilogy on a really high note as well. So fantastic job. Really fantastic job. I mean, I'm glad the Russo brothers are directing Infinity War, because I have a very good feeling that they are going to do very well, and that people will like them. I think they should have probably directed Age of Ultron as well. I think it would have made the movie better. I mean, I like Joss Whedon, but I think he kind of got lost with the second one. I don't know what, but he kind of lost. He got mixed up with plot and everything, and he didn't handle it very well. But I don't know what the reason was for that. But
I think maybe he just had too much control over it.
I don't know, or it was just too much to handle. But anyway, that's another hangout for another time. Yeah, and it's, you know, if you're a fan of the Marvel movies, you have there's a great sense of fan service. There's a great sense of love for the series, but there's also a great sense of love for Captain America himself as well, because essentially it is about him. So I really like it, and I think I'm going to score this one a 9 out of 10, because Baron Zemo, the villain, he doesn't do much, and I would have liked him to do a lot more. I mean, his final scene is very interesting. Also, I forgot to mention Black Panther. Black Panther's really cool. I'm looking forward to his film. I think Chadwick Boseman, who plays him, does a really good job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But by the way, imagine if they included this scene in the film when Ant-Man was fighting.
What scene?
I'll show you.
Okay.
It included this scene with Ant-Man fighting. Yeah, we'll get to it, bro. Got it right now.
Charlie! Sex Panther powers activate!
It's Anchorman.
That's very strange.
Next part of cars makes sense, bro.
Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. We've covered all 4 movies. As to sort of how I'd rank the movies, well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, they are pretty much already in the ranking order. From at the bottom, I'd start right at the bottom, the 1990 movie. Then,
Why do you put that top, bro?
as I was saying, 1990 movie, First Avenger, Winter Soldier, and then Civil War. That's pretty much my list. I don't know about you guys. Is there anything you guys want to say, like summary of the movies before we close off?
I'd say at the top, the 1990 film. Joking. No, at the bottom would be the 1990 film. 0 out of 10. Just I don't know how they're going to top the shit in that one. Number 3 would be Captain America, the First Avenger, which is at 5 out of 10, okay, but still not great. Then Winter Soldier, an 8 out of 10, which is good. Get to the good ones, and then number 1 would be Civil War, which is great. And overall, I think the Captain America films they're a mixed bag. I mean, you go from absolutely awful to okay to good to great. So a bit of a mixed bag, but I enjoy most of them nonetheless.
Well, thankfully, at least they progress from bad to good, not the other way around.
Unlike Superman or Batman.
Indeed.
Yeah, Captain America, unlike most superhero sagas, as you both said, actually went up in quality rather than down. So I've got to applaud them for that. So it was probably best that they started out with the 1990s film and worked their way up to Civil War. So yeah, my ranking would be 1990 Captain America, First Avenger, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. Same as you guys. So yeah, mixed bag of a superhero saga, but overall enjoy it more than I don't.
Yeah, it's actually very split. Think about it. Two great Captain America movies, 2 crappy ones. So it's very even Stevens.
Yeah.
Well, even though First Avenger isn't crap, it's just not great compared to the other 2.
I'm sure you'll be going back to the 1991 in a rush.
Oh, with flying colors. Yeah, but that pretty much concludes it, guys. That's our reflection on Captain America Saga. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put your comments down below. Let us know. Tune in next time when we talk about the Iron Man trilogy. Yes, we can arrange a time for that at some point. So, thank you guys all for watching and listening. Until then, I am Mr. Thomas 11. This is Harry Thomas and Jack McCullough, and see ya.